In the year
NK
2205, on March the 1st at 7:29, Yun Sam stared at the digital clock in a daze, thinking she hadn't fully woken up yet. Ding-ling-ling, the shrill alarm blared as a bold black line of text took over the screen. At 8 o'clock, register a Doomsday-based virtual reality game account. Don't forget. Could this not be a dream? Had she really returned to 3 years ago? Finding it hard to believe, Yun Sam quickly put on the VR helmet and logged in. Ding. You have not yet become a player of Doomsday Base. Please register an account first. Yun Sam. She was a professional gamer who made a living selling in-game currency, rare items, and high-end gear. Wherever a title on the market caught fire, there she was. By chance she'd seen someone in a forum turn into a Doomsday Base fanboy, praising it to the skies and predicting it would explode in the future. Though technology had leapt forward with the times, VR still wasn't perfected, and every VR MMO launched carried flaws. What charm did Doomsday Base have that could make a veteran of over 5 years into a slobbering devotee? Had it broken through the technical barrier? With a touch of curiosity, Yun Sam decided to try. Yet Doomsday Base differed from other games in that it was not open to all, and only released batches of registration slots from time to time. Quick hands win, slow hands lose. Everyone fought for a spot on their own merits. To snatch a slot, Yun Sam set a special alarm to remind herself to log in and register. March the 1st, year 2205. Was the very day she outsped others and just entered the game. Thinking of the past, her chest tightened and she almost cried. The game had no top-up path and accepted no whales, so tycoons could only detour to the forums and spend big to buy game items. For 3 years Yun Sam had struggled, finally buying a large tract of land, creating a monster legion, and raising the strongest battle pet in the whole server. Her grand enterprise was nearly complete. Soon she could live off selling points and perks, when suddenly the data rewound and everything reset to the start. After sitting still about 20 minutes, she went from frozen state of mind, about to shatter, to can't go back, must accept reality, then to start over again. How could I not play? And at last calmed down. At exactly 8:200 registration codes dropped on time, by sheer speed. Yun Sam grabbed one. The system prompted, please use it within 3 minutes. After the limit you will automatically lose eligibility. Indeed, Doomsday Base was that unreasonable. Move a little slow and you yield the chance to someone else. Someone had joked that harder than hell difficulty raids was fighting for a reg code, but that was a year later when 3,000 codes were chased by hundreds of thousands. Now, just after launch, few knew of it and competition wasn't so fierce. With the code in hand, she used it at once. System, bind to your identity document. Yun Sam tapped yes. System, verification passed, identity bound. This account is limited to a single user. Right then a soft white light fell and washed over the projection of her consciousness, making her feel warm. After a dozen seconds, body attributes have been digitized. Personal info as follows: name, Yun Sam, stamina, 100 over 100%, satiety, 100 over 100%. Composite power rating, 1 star. There are 5 tiers in total, from low to high: 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Explanation: stamina determines your capacity to act. Walking, sprinting, fighting, and using skills all consume stamina. When stamina hits 0, the avatar faints. Satiety decreases over time. When satiety hits 0, the avatar dies of hunger. Eating raises satiety. When the bar is full, further eating will not increase it. Yun Sam skimmed it, confirmed the stats and notes matched her memory, and felt a little relieved. A golden ray gleamed from her chest. Congratulations, you have awakened the talent. Interaction force, passive, interaction force, cannot level up. First, animals that see you feel very friendly and greatly reduce their desire to attack proactively. Second, you can effectively soothe animals. With it the key information was laid out. The system notified, registration successful and welcome to Doomsday Base. This was a canyon, a murmuring stream, lush greenery, flowers, and birdsong. At first glance nothing of the apocalypse. More than 20 players stood around Yun Sam, men and women both, some over 30, some only 18 or 19. A female student looked around, eyes bright with wonder. It's so beautiful here, like a tourist spot. The realism is so high. How did the studio pull this off? A tall male student, uninterested in blossoms and grass, asked straight, I'm sure. Jing, 1 star, got a combat type talent. Anyone want to party up and grind mobs? A middle-aged man gazed into the distance, surprised. The air is mild, water is abundant, soil is fertile. This is a blessed land. There's sorghum, potatoes, corn, wheat, and rice in the fields, with NPCs tending them. Didn't expect the game to care so much about detail. A buzzcut boy glanced down at his starter kit and grumbled. Funeral cloth shirt, rough pants, straw sandals, a single wooden stick, not Even a personal stash so stingy, can we take photos? First time in a VR MMO, I really want a keepsake. What even is a talent? Why don't I have one? There's a black watch on my right wrist all of a sudden, what is it? Clothes and shoes give no stats, so they're not gear. The 24 players all talked at once, the place a clamor. Yun Sam picked her bearings and slipped off alone. Red wind base, familiar yet strange scenery on all sides. Familiar because she had spent 3 years here and knew the layout by heart, no map needed. Strange because 3 years later Red Wind would balloon tenfold. By her last login, buildings packed like teeth, experts like clouds, battle pets everywhere, utterly unlike the simple outpost before her. Game time, the 5th year of the apocalypse, March the 1st, 8:05, catching the text at the top right. Yun Sam sighed again, the realm she had fought so hard to carve out, gone. All of it. She walked slowly on and soon reached the quest hall. With her goal clear, she headed straight for the notice board. 7 hiring flyers were pasted on the left: woodcutter, workplace, the logging grounds, duty, fell trees, wage, 2.5 credits per hour, paid daily, contact, go to the logging grounds and find NPC Mr. Zhao, credits are the in-game money, transferred through the Black Watch. Prices in this world aren't high, but 2.5 an hour is truly little. Moreover, logging is strenuous and drains satiety fast. Of what you earn, at least 7/10 go right into food. All told, a full day's labor saves hardly anything. Terrible efficiency. The upside, they hire year-round, no threshold, anyone can do it. Very friendly to newbies. Besides, Doomsday Base has a unique progression system. Whether logging or open field mobbing, you can raise your own attributes. Once your capability meets a standard, your composite rating increases and you rank up a star. Logging is tiring and poor but safe, so some rookies toil there long-term until they reach 2 stars, then switch jobs. Yun Sam, a veteran, decided she needn't choose the hard road. She read on: vegetable prep hand, workplace, the eatery, duty, slicing and portioning, wage, for credits per hour, paid weekly, requirement, basic knife skills, stamina of at least 100, contact, go to the eatery and find NPC Chef Liao. Compared with logging, kitchen work has more skill and a bar to entry, so the pay is higher. Herb grower, workplace, the herb garden, duty, 10 medicinal plots, wage, 5 credits per hour, paid weekly, requirement, basic pharmacology, able to cultivate purple grass, experience preferred, contact, go to the herb garden and find NPC steward's son. After a round she still hadn't found a job to her liking, so she shifted her gaze to the right half of the board, seeking to buy combined herb quantity, 5 stalks. Bounty, 8 credits, requirement, good quality, seeking to buy purple grass quantity. Unlimited, bounty, 2 credits per stock, requirement, good quality, buying monsters in bulk quantity. Unlimited, bounty, from 1 to 500 credits per head depending on species, quality, and weight. Species, red-bellied hill chicken, tiger pelt hare, white egret duck, black pattern hog. Requirement, none. More than 20 sheets were all bounties. In Doomsday Base, mobs drop no gear, money, or mats. After you kill a small fry you must carry the corpse back to the quest hall and turn in to exchange for credits. Early on, many newbies, not knowing the ropes, suffered. Combined herb, purple grass, red cloud mushroom. Yun Sam memorized each posted herb, then headed out of the base. In the wilds, Shi Jing and 2 other players had a 1-star red-bellied hill chicken surrounded, all in. Kill it. With that the 3 rushed in with sticks, 1 whiffed, 1 cracked its leg and the little mob staggered, its motion hitching. Shi Jing seized the moment and shouted, battle will, aflame, talent, battle will, aflame, level 1, rally morale. The next strike gains 50% attack power. His blow landed true on the chicken's neck, the mob groaned and collapsed, unable to rise. How is it? Any loot? His teammates swarmed over. Excited, when they looked closely they gaped as 1. Not even a single coin, no gear, no materials, no experience. How are we supposed to play this? Shi Jing turned the carcass over and over and still found nothing, frowning. Something's off. His teammates scoffed. Not a little off, way off. The 3 looked at each other at a loss. So we busted our butts for nothing on a trash mob. After that fight both stamina and satiety dropped. We'd better find a way to make money or we'll starve. If stamina hits 0 and we faint in the open, will some passing mob bite us to death? Before they could settle on a plan, one teammate's eyes went wide and his avatar burst into white light. Shi Jing started and whipped around. A red-bellied hill chicken stood behind them, eyes gleaming with ferocity. Unlike before, this one was a size larger, and the 4 characters above its head, red-bellied hill chicken, were blue. Earlier they had been gray. The system chimed at once. Gray name equals composite power 1 star, white name equals composite power 2 stars, blue name equals composite power 3 stars, purple name equals composite power 4 stars, Orange name equals composite power 5 stars. Note, this rule applies only to monsters and players. NPCs, whatever their strength, always have black names. Scatter and run. In the pinch, Shi Jing only had time to shout that before bolting. A few seconds later, his teammates' screams echoed in the air, and a chill crawled up his back as if some terrifying existence had locked onto him. While running, Shi Jing cursed inwardly. Why would a 3-star freak show up in a 1-star leveling zone? Do tiers not have separate areas? Cursing fiercely changed nothing as danger crept closer step by step. In this moment he forgot he was playing a game. Panic rose for no reason as if he truly lived in the apocalypse chased by beasts and could die at any time. He sprinted faster and by chance glanced ahead to see not far away a gray-named female player called Yun Sam. Shi Jing thought. This was not far from the camp and if someone could block for a moment maybe he could escape. The thought had barely sparked when the 3-star red-bellied pheasant pecked a bloody hole into him and he turned into white light. Yun Sam calmly crouched and dug up 2 herbs. The blue-name monsters acted like they could not see her and just strolled about. Interaction force not upgradable. First, animals feel very friendly toward you when they see you, greatly lowering their urge to attack. Second, you can effectively soothe animals. Though a non-combat talent, it is extremely handy at certain times, like now, when she was picking herbs in the wild as if strolling her own backyard. Ning spirit grass usually grows by lakes. Let's check Mirror Lake. With a clear target, Yun Sam hurried on only to find halfway a 1-star red-bellied pheasant lying on the ground. Killing a monster costs a lot of effort, yet the prey ends up tossed. That kind of thing is usually done only by newbies. The instant they leave, the prey is abandoned. Beasts will eat it, NPCs will pick it up. Veterans will either eat it or carry it off. Not bad luck. Yun Sam lifted the pheasant and turned back to camp. In the mission hall, the clerk at the counter was a pretty young lady with floating black text above her head reading Miss Jean, which meant an NPC. After checking each item she said, purple grass 2 points, 2 stalks total. Red cloud mushroom 1 point, 1 cap total, 1-star red-bellied pheasant, upper grade quality, weight 3 caddies, discount to 24 points, that is 29 points in all, please confirm. No problem. Once verified, a black watch surfaced and Miss Jean transferred to Yun Sam 29 points. We will deliver the items to the quest poster. You may go. Yun Sam opened her status pane. Today's accumulated online time, 43 minutes. Stamina, 85%, satiety, 88%. Seeing good condition, Yun Sam set out again. Asterisk. After 3 years of playing, Yun Sam had long memorized the terrain around Red Wind Camp. Even without the map, she knew the most efficient routes to save time. Apart from spotting herbs and pausing to dig, she mostly kept her head down on the road. Suddenly a tick-tick sound came from ahead. Yun Sam quietly raised her guard. Once she saw it was only several gray-named tiger skin rabbits grazing nearby, she relaxed. Unexpectedly, help! At a sharp shout, 2 gray-named female players appeared. One called Tien Han cleaved 2 rabbits with a chopper. The other called Mok Kan came over smiling to comfort her. It is fine. Yun Sam felt more danger now than before. You are new, right? Mok Kan kindly advised. The wilds are dangerous. Do not run out alone again. A corner of her eye caught the weed in Yun Sam's hand and she blurted, is that Silver Needle Herb? Silver Needle Herb is a low mid-tier herb worth 3 points a stalk. Yun Sam did not want trouble and offered. Thanks for saving me. Take this herb. No, Mok Kan waved fast. I was just surprised. Keep it. Yun Sam then let it go. Nearby the fight had ended. Tien Han had taken on 3 without falling behind and even killed another tiger skin rabbit. Yun Sam was a bit amazed. She is truly strong. There are not many girls like her who can fight. Of course, Mok Kan said with pride. Yen Han has trained in martial arts and swordplay since childhood and even won big competition prizes. Yun Sam was more surprised. You know each other in real life? Mok Kan nodded hard. We are childhood friends, so you agreed to enter the game together. Not exactly. A month earlier Yen Han entered first. After a while she said the longer she played the more surplus energy she had. Her physical fitness clearly improved, pimples vanished and her skin got better, so she dragged me into the pit to carry me. Mok Kan, guileless, answered whatever was asked. Plainly she did not treat the childhood friend talk as serious, only joking. Yun Sam looked at her and thought of one phrase, the foolish are blessed. A bit later Tien Han downed 5 tiger skin rabbits and suggested, let us return to camp together, it is on the way. Yun Sam was very moved but refused. You go ahead, I want to wander more. Be careful, die once and you lose the right to keep playing. Mok Kan reminded. I know. Yun Sam did not want to panic in the wilds, she simply had no points and everything was inconvenient. She calculated that so long as she was not especially unlucky, after 7 or 8 runs she could basically save enough seed money, then she would not need to risk so much. If you do not want a team we will not force it, see you have faded. Tien Han was crisp, Yun Sam thought and said, see that pale yellow patch of flowers, if you are interested, pick them and take them back, they are herbs and can be sold, though each is worth only half a point and picking costs time, it is. Still income, Mokkan stared after Yun Sam with mouth agape, are those not flowers, how do they become herbs and even sell for money, and that is the nuisance of herb gathering. To ordinary eyes herbs and flowers look the same, many a joke begins with, meant to dig herbs but dug useless flowers, over time most people get too lazy to bother, Tien Han fatally realized. She likely is not wandering aimlessly out of camp but knows pharmacology and goes out alone to gather, she is kind but we do not need it, Mokkan beamed, with you here we lack neither food nor points, by experience, if you were a Buddhist path player you hardly spend money on food, a sparklet in Tien Han, no, we should gather, and you should be the one to do it, Mokkan froze, remember I said the longer in game the better the skin gets, asked Tien Han, was that not nonsense, Mokkan had logged in 8 straight days and felt no change. I also wondered why it worked for me not for you, now I think it is because I fight and do everything while you just follow behind and do almost nothing. Try gathering herbs first, if that fails I will take you to fight. Mokkan stared and found she was serious, and she nearly cried, it is only a game so why such earnestness? After picking the red-bellied pheasant Yun Sam picked up another tiger skin rabbit, plump and large, about 4 caddies. With silver needle herb in her left hand and the rabbit in her right she was a little torn, to carry them back meant time lost weaving through traffic on the road, but carrying the load was inconvenient and then where would she stash things when digging herbs? In fact the camp sold baskets. With one on your back both gathering and hunting became far easier, but Yun Sam was poor and could not afford it. Earlier she also feared she could not carry more so she had brought the pheasant back first. She had not expected that after stepping out again it would be like this in a blink, perhaps she could run a few routes and just collect abandoned prey to sell. Just as the notion formed a white-named mossmane wolf walked up behind her, eyes fixed on the rabbit in her hand. When the wolf saw Yun Sam notice it, it licked its mouth and trotted nearer with a clear message of split half. Yun Sam, because of her interaction talent beasts would not treat her as an outsider, but by the same token they would not treat themselves as outsiders either. Freeloading with practiced ease, hold on, let me think. Yun Sam stepped back, she had not decided whether to bring the rabbit to camp or toss it to the wolf and stick to the herb plan. The wolf watched hopefully, drool in its eyes, and the two stalemated. Suddenly the mossmane wolf twitched its nose as if catching a scent, next instant it sprang away in another direction. Yun Sam was baffled. She looked where it ran and saw a white-named female player squatting to cut dry grass, beside her a gray-named tiger skin rabbit bowed to graze, meek and fresh. Yun Sam, she is especially ill-suited to team with girls, when they approach she stays safe yet teammates easily get in danger, like now. The wolf had clearly been lured by the rabbit in her hand, when she would not let go and it still craved meat it went to stalk another rabbit. The white-named player, and Xiaomat, heard the noise, looked up and paled. How did a 2-star mossmane wolf show up? Hugging the rabbit she bolted, truly uneasy. Yun Sam tossed the rabbit in her hand, over here. Catching the scent of meat the wolf gave up its quarry, leapt over, pinned the rabbit and tore at it, and Yun Sam slipped away. After a while she met in Xiaomat again, the latter still shaken. Good thing you were there, the culprit Yun Sam said, no need to be polite. After thinking and Xiaomat pulled a big palm-sized pouch from her basket, take this, it suits spices or herbs. Yun Sam shook her head, no need. The incident had begun because of her and in Xiaomat had merely been implicated, then I will share some intel. Without waiting for a refusal and Xiaomat rattled on, I was among the earliest wave, I entered at the start of the month, back then men were many and women few, the ratio about 8 to 2, after 2 months the veteran male to female ratio neared 1 to 1, because female players tend to be Buddhist and male players tend to be brash, too many have died. In this game it is best to be cautious, when you should run then run fast, do not hesitate, do not muddle, do not act tough. I understand. Thank you for the reminder. Yun Sam smiled, and Xiaomat hugged the rabbit. I raised this one, once I was in the wild and found it badly wounded on the ground so I bandaged the wound. When it woke it made a pact of its own to become my battle pet. Do not underestimate it, among 1-stars it can fight, but 2-star mossmane wolves are too hard. If you meet one you can only avoid it. Congratulations. Picking up a battle pet is truly great luck. Yun Sam blessed her. And Xiaomat sensed a faint oddity. She had shared intel in all sincerity yet the other seemed hardly surprised and answered every line as if she already knew. Biting her lip she continued, I have stayed in game for 2 months and usually take odd jobs at the mission hall. Not long ago my comprehensive standing suddenly became 2-star and my name changed from gray to white. I do not really know why, but from how it feels the gameplay is rich and the path to leveling up is not only fighting monsters. Pity that for a player like me even at 2-star I still cannot fight and only scare people. With a wave and Xiaomat took her leave. It is a bit far from camp here, be careful, I will go first, authors aside. Later, to keep Yin Sam from quitting wandering, NPC enthusiastic promotion. Dear, play the game and we will give you a boyfriend. Our lord of the territory Kang Kang, is he not handsome? The lord being handed over. After Matt left, Van Sam went on alone. In truth, she not only knew the basic rules of the game but was also familiar with some secret details, such as terms of address. NPCs habitually called wild creatures magic beasts because of their violent nature and strong aggressiveness. Once contracted, they were called battle pets, not only to distinguish them from wild beasts but also because after the contract, their temperament usually became gentler. For players, Apocalypse Base Camp was just a game, so all wild creatures were called small monsters, and according to their levels, they were further divided into gray name monsters, 1-star, white name monsters, 2-star, and blue name monsters, 3-star. With so many names, new players often couldn't react in time when hearing different terms, and she too only got used to it after a long while. Stop, hand over the basket. A cold shout cut through Van Sam's thoughts. Looking closer, 2 gray-name male players were surrounding a young NPC boy, trying to rob him. NPC names appeared in black, without levels, so strength could only be guessed from appearance. Obviously, the two thought this NPC was an easy target to bully. The NPC's name was Chu Hong. Seeing the name, Van Sam immediately guessed the outcome. Chu Hong's gaze was cold. What do you want the basket for? Why ask so much? Just do what I said. One of them spoke impatiently. The other, wearing glasses, softened his tone. Didn't you pick a few herbs before? There are things we need in there. Don't worry, we won't hurt you. I promise, once we get the herbs, we'll let you go. Chu Hong's lips curved in a cold sneer. He swiftly loosened the strap and tossed the basket to the ground, as if giving up resistance. Now I can leave? Of course. The man with glasses smiled. The next second, chaos erupted. The 2 gray name players attacked at once, intending to silence him. Silver needles flew and pierced vital points. Before they could get close, both were killed. Chu Hong picked up the basket and said coldly, courting death. Van Sam held her breath, minimizing her presence. Whether it was the 2 gray name players or Chu Hong, the Silver Needle Master, all were threats beyond her current power. That was the danger of field activity. Safety was never guaranteed, and robbery could happen anytime. Worst of all, they killed for mere herbs. Chu Hong slung the basket on his back to leave, but suddenly halted and turned sharply. Van Sam, hiding in the corner, didn't move. Just then, a moss wolf appeared, eyes glowing red with bloodlust, glaring at Chu Hong. Troublesome. Chu Hong murmured, quickly retreating. Only then did Van Sam breathe out in relief. After about 20 minutes of walking, she finally reached Mirror Lake, its surface shimmering like glass, the shores lush with green grass and flowers in bloom. Van Sam scanned around and soon found the calming herb, small, pale blue, inconspicuous like weeds, growing all around Mirror Lake. She dug carefully and lifted it intact. Suddenly, a wail shattered the lake's peace. Wolves howled, pigs squealed, dogs barked, their sounds intertwined like countless beasts fighting. Van Sam gathered 8 calming herbs, packed up, and prepared to leave, but after a few steps, she met Chu Hong again. His face was ashen, wounds covered his body, his clothes slashed in several places. He was a mess. Their eyes met, he froze, then shouted, "Danger, run!" Around them lay corpses of beasts, moss wolves, red-bellied chickens, black-patterned boars, white herons, tiger rabbits, hound dogs, all dead, the air thick with blood. Van Sam was stunned. Then a man walked slowly toward them, clad in a black coat, face sharply handsome as if carved by a blade, eyes tinged with blood, a dark name floating above his head, Luke Min. It was him, no wonder. Van Sam instantly realized what had happened. Chu Hong had tried to knock Luke Min out with silver needles, but before they could even reach him, they were all deflected. Luke Min approached step by step, his face cold like a demon's. Herbs fell to the ground, and Van Sam, frightened stiff, stood frozen. Chu Hong, seeing no chance to help, retreated alone. Step by step, closer and closer. Luke Min could almost wrap his hand around her neck. Then suddenly he pulled her into his arms, pressing close, inhaling deeply against her neck. Chu Hong was stunned. The human-shaped pillow had done its job. Van Sam neither struggled nor resisted, just stood there and let him hold her. "Why do you smell so good?" Luke Min inhaled a while longer, his headache eased, the red in his eyes faded, and he hugged her even tighter. Van Sam replied, "Innate gift. Interaction power, cannot be upgraded. 1. Animals seeing you will feel great affection and lower their attack desire. 2. You can effectively soothe animals. Humans were animals too, seeing her made them feel at ease, approaching her calmed them, only those with excessive greed could resist her gift and still attack. So good." Luke Min closed his eyes, an unprecedented calm settling over him. Time passed, his breathing growing slow and steady. Van Sam gently laid him on the ground and whispered, "Let's go." "How is he?" Chu Hong asked. "Sick, seriously sick, best not to approach, let him sleep it off, he'll be fine when he wakes." Van Sam's tone was professional. "And if someone gets too close?" Chu Hong asked again. "He might wake up and relapse." Chu Hong's face froze. "Let him rest alone, it's better for everyone." Van Sam picked up her herbs, ready to leave. "Wait." Chu Hong took off his basket and offered it. "Here are some herbs, consider it your consultation fee." Van Sam hesitated. "Take it," Chu Hong insisted, "I know him, it's only right that I help." "All right then." Thinking of how broke she was early in the game, Van Sam accepted and slung the basket over her back. With a stick at her waist and herbs in the basket, her hands were free again. She grabbed a red-bellied chicken in one hand, a white heron duck in the other, and glanced at the beast corpses she couldn't carry, her face showing regret. "I'm off." Chu Hong turned and saw Luke Min sleeping peacefully, then sat quietly in the distance to watch over him. Van Sam returned victorious, her steps lighter. To avoid other players' notice, she chose a quiet side path and even took a detour. Whether it was Chu Hong or Luke Min, she knew both well from her previous life and thus understood the situation. Players were just projections of consciousness. No matter how high level they were, NPCs were different. Higher star ranks meant higher chances of mental illness. Luke Min, the only 4-star powerhouse of Red Wind Base Camp, had long suffered from his illness. When he relapsed, he couldn't recognize anyone, full of killing aura, acting purely on instinct. To avoid harming others, he would isolate himself each time. This time, for some reason, he was drawn out. He was a genius who could have long advanced to 5-star, but to keep his condition stable, he forcefully suppressed his power, even destroying his cultivation. Until one day, when the beast tide came, Red Wind Base Camp was besieged by hordes of monsters, including 3 4-star beasts. To defend it, Luke Min broke through, becoming a 5-star powerhouse, but his mind suffered, leaving severe aftereffects. Worse, after the breakthrough, his condition spiraled out of control, his moments of sanity rare, his madness frequent, living half insane. In her last life, Van Sam met him much later. His old illness deepened, his wounds worsened, his distrust of players too strong, making treatment extremely difficult. This life, meeting him on day one, was perhaps a small comfort amid misfortune. While his illness wasn't yet severe, Van Sam wanted to cure him. As for Chu Hong, skilled with silver needles and killing, rumors said years ago he and his family were besieged by monsters and saved by Luke Min at death's door. Since then, he'd been loyal to him, obeying every order, risking his life to protect him without seeking reward. Such loyalty lasted even after years' time passed, yet his heart stayed the same. With the wild monsters in turmoil, both NPCs and players hurried back to the camp to raise alert levels. Van Sam moved smoothly, unimpeded, soon reaching the mission hall. Red cloud fungus, silver needle grass, ghost vine, calming herb. The clerk Miss Kim counted the total, surprised. There are quite a few mid to high grade herbs here, worth 211.8 credits. Finally, she had enough, no more hardship out there. At that moment, joy rose from her heart. After confirming, Miss Kim transferred the credits to Van Sam's account. Van Sam turned straight toward the central area without a word. The Red Wind Base Camp's layout was well planned, the center for NPC residences, outer areas for players. No matter how many expansions it went through, that pattern remained. Outer land could be bought and sold. Once owned, players could open shops, farm, or raise creatures. At her peak, Van Sam had bought all the land in the east and raised hundreds of 3-star beasts as guards. Every time she went out, NPCs looked at her with awe, some even wanted to introduce partners to her, fearing she'd leave. Unknowingly, the central area was already in sight. Van Sam glanced at her status: stamina 44%, hunger 56%, she decided to buy food first. Prices in Apocalypse Base Camp weren't high, taking a steamed bun shop as example: white flour bun, 0.8 credits each, corn bun, 1 credit each, sorghum bun, 1 credit each, rolled bun, 1.5 credits each, plain porridge, 1.5 credits a bowl, meat bun, 3 credits each. But the stronger the person, the greater the energy demand, the larger the appetite, the more meat required. Eating only grain buns barely restored hunger. Having enough credits for now, Van Sam bought 2 meat buns, eating as she walked. Damn this dog of a game. Feng and Gu squatted at the end of the street, face full of wrath. Utterly never expected it. He dodged monsters hunting him, dodged player killing, yet could not dodge an NPC's scheme. Truth be told, who would have guessed that NPC who looked so honest was actually a swindler? He had sweet-talked about a batch of top-grade herbs, willing to sell cheap, but the moment money changed hands, what came out were flawed items unusable at all. Feng and Gu, a veteran with deep experience, had not foreseen that even in a game he must guard against NPCs, paying first and forgetting to check the goods, and with that brief lapse all the hard-earned savings he had scraped together washed away. In his fury he wished he could seize that swindler and kill him to vent his anger, yet if it came to real blows he might not even beat an NPC. Besides, in the Red Wind encampment killing is forbidden. Once discovered you get kicked out at best, executed on the spot at worst. Compared to revenge, a more urgent problem loomed: stamina, 41%, satiety, 23%. He was about to starve. He thought of borrowing some credits to tide over, but in this game he had no close friends. Taking a job, he feared before the day's wages were settled his satiety would already drop to 0. At the end of the rope, he even began considering whether begging might be a viable, fast cash gig. What a coincidence, meeting you here. Running into an acquaintance by chance, Van Sam felt surprised and greeted him kindly. Feng and Go and Van Sam were both profession-type players, members of several gaming forums, and had met before in another virtual reality game. Van Sam? Overjoyed, Feng and Gu sprang up and blurted, "Could you lend me some money?" Van Sam was taken aback. What happened? Got swindled? Feng and Gu gave a bitter smile, 3 short words carrying endless sourness. If lending is inconvenient, giving me some food also works. The impulse ebbed and reason returned, so he proposed a more reasonable rescue plan. I have no money on me, my satiety is low, I am close to starving. Once I eat I will go work, at the latest tomorrow evening I can pay you back. Strolling and buying as she went, Van Sam now held not only meat buns but also shrimp pancakes and peach blossom pastry. The meat buns had thin skins and generous fillings with savory broth. The shrimp pancakes were a hot griddle mix of shrimp, eggs, flour, and chopped scallions, richly fragrant. The peach blossom pastry layered sweet red bean paste inside crisp shells, wonderfully tasty. Doomsday encampment simulated reality to a startling degree. Just the aroma made Feng and Gu's stomach growl. He really was starving. Here. Van Sam handed the food over, embarrassed. Feng and Gu did not take it all. The meat buns and shrimp pancakes are enough. Keep the peach blossom pastry for yourself. Compared with grains, meat dishes filled the belly better. Meat buns plus shrimp pancakes would cover the energy for laboring, only. Why help me? He reminded himself their relationship was not deep. He did not even know when she had joined the game, and asking for help like that was pure desperation, so he'd steeled himself to try. Weren't you the one who raved about Doomsday encampment on the forums? I fell into the pit because of you. Van Sam chuckled. At the mention of old stories, Feng and Gu flushed. Back then, newly entered, the experience stunned him. He decided this was true virtual reality gaming, then went wild recommending it across every group he was in. Friends first thought his account had been stolen. Later, once confirmed it was really him, many grew curious and wanted in, but with registration codes released only at fixed times, few actually entered. Van Sam had been persuaded by his pitch and wanted to try. Doomsday encampment, ahem, let's not bring up the past. Eager to escape the black history, he awkwardly shifted topics. I came in earlier than you, let me tell you the traps I stepped on. Okay, go on. Van Sam listened intently. Credits in this game are especially hard to come by. Before spending, you must think twice. When it turned serious, his face straightened. I once moonlighted as a woodcutter, it was miserable, exhausting, and the lowest paid. Work an hour, subtract food costs, and you net roughly half to 7/10 of a credit. Players do not log in just to toil, everyone needs some leisure, stroll a bit, play a bit, and your savings vanish, then you go back to labor. During the newbie period, do not go into the wilds. You think your party will surround and take down a 1-star monster, but with a turn it becomes a 3-star, bringing little brothers to surround and take down players. Who is prey and who is hunter becomes hard to say. Also, the NPCs in Doomsday Encampment are extremely intelligent. Rumor says that behind the NPC facade are real company employees role-playing, so any kind of personality exists. Thinking of his own misfortune, he added through gritted teeth, including swindlers. Meeting a swindler is not the worst, there are assassin NPCs, bandits, and brigands. Van Sam told him. Feng Yinggu was stunned, seems there are plenty of death traps. He continued, I worked at the woodcutting yard for over a week. When I changed jobs I found the avatar's physical power seemed improved. By inference, different labor types may raise different attributes, though the attribute panel shows nothing, your body feels it. Stranger still, lately with less sleep I feel more energetic, and my memory seems sharper. I secretly compared notes with friends, some said it is psychological, others said the virtual reality tech acts on the mind and helps tap the human brain. Van Sam summed up, the intelligent NPCs are people in costume, and improvements to real-world fitness are either psychology or a virtual reality effect. Whatever oddities appear, there is always a branch of science to explain them. Fine, very scientific. Feng Yinggu studied her, seeing she still wore novice garb, basket on her back, yet could already afford meat. He doubted. How long have you been in the game that you are still in newbie clothes? Van Sam glanced at her. Status, accumulated online time today, 3 hours 19 minutes, 3 hours 19 minutes. Feng Yinggu, he asked, do not tell me you registered and logged in only today? She looked back innocently, expression saying, that is correct. He found it hard to believe, first day in and you were already eating meat and even got a basket? He himself had starved on day 1 and gone to the woodcutting yard. Good luck, I picked up a few monsters and sold them for cash. Van Sam half joked, half told the truth. But exploration, while profitable, is very dangerous. You may go and never come back. Labor is safe and steady yet never makes a fortune. Each has pros and cons. He finished the last bite of shrimp pancake and prepared to repay the debt of sweat. Before leaving, he said, add me as a friend so we can contact easily. She agreed. A black watch extended, codes were added, and a new friend was set. Out in the wilds, Luke Min frowned as if waking. Seeing he was fine, Chu Hong left first. Luke Min woke from a dream, with monsters strewn around. His habitual headaches absent and his consciousness clearer than ever. His eyes darkened as he surveyed the area and found nothing. When his illness flares, he usually loses reason and does not know what he is doing. After it passes, he typically retains no memory of the episode, forgets whom he met, remembers nothing of what he did. Seeing bloodstains all over his clothes, he sighed and trudged toward the encampment. A tidy yard, a bamboo hut in front, a vegetable plot behind, and 2 adjacent dwellings divided by a bamboo fence. Miss Kim, the NPC introduced for Van Sam, this is a modest row house district, not expensive. For rent or for sale, if you dislike it, the Southern District has standalone 3-story villas for rent. Rentals and sales also fall under the Mission Hall's purview, so Miss Kim accompanied her to view. How much per month to rent? How much to buy? Van Sam asked. She had not dealt with property for a long time and had forgotten the prices. Miss Kim replied, rent is 30 credits per month, with free use of the vegetable plot. To buy includes the house and land rights. One plot costs 3,000 credits, rent for 1 month first. Van Sam said, alright. After signing the lease, she officially moved in. The bamboo hut had a bamboo bed, a wooden table, a bamboo chair, and a wooden cabinet, and nothing else. In the NPC residential zone, squat on a patch of land, put up some housing, and you can sell it for money. Quite the economic brain, yet this is a game where tweaking some numbers turns into divine gear to tempt players to spend, so compared to that, squatting land to sell is nothing. Besides, in Doomsday Encampment, you log in where you logged out. If a brawl in the street spreads to you, or you log in only to be welcomed by a high-tier monster, that would be a wrongful death, so she ignored other matters and first found herself a fixed base. Rented 30 credits a month is roughly 1 credit a day, she calculated on the bamboo chair. The next second, she was kicked out of the game. Accumulated online time today, 240 minutes, 4 hours, maximum reached. For the health of your mind, logging in again today is prohibited. Please balance work and rest, and play in moderation. I almost forgot, in the newbie period mental power is weak, the consciousness projection can only last 4 hours at most. She looked at the dignified, government-style pretext and laughed. Balance work and rest? Play in moderation? Obviously if they could they would have players stay online around the clock to keep working. She logged into another famous online game, tallied items in her inventory, and planned to sell off the account quickly. For the next 3 years, she intended to pour all her energy into Doomsday Encampment. At noon, in a Moneybags forum, rich and capricious, buying Doomsday Encampment credits, upfront cap at 1,000, 1 credit equals 100 coins, come fast if you have any. The post detonated the forum. Wage-grinding laborer, the big boss is both rich and willful. Step aside and let me, 1,000 credits at 100 coins each, that is 10,000 on the spot. A magnum opus, West Lakewater is my tears, I cry. Brothers praised Doomsday Encampment before, I never heard of it, thought it a small indie, too lazy to scramble for codes. Will it still be in time next week to scramble for a code and grind credits? Will the sugar daddy keep offering bounties later? What awakens the passion for labor? Is it a fun game? No, it is the power of money. Notifications flashed to 99 plus in a blink as people asked what Doomsday Encampment was and why credits so hard to farm fetched such a price. There were many inquiries but no private messages selling credits, so the patron grew anxious and blasted 3 lines. Anyone already in game? Anyone on first shift with spare credits? Hurry and make money. At that moment, someone had mentioned miserable Feng. It was Feng Yinggu's account. Lately gloomy, he had just changed to a new screen name. The sponsor directly poked the private chat window. Huh? I have money, do you have any points? Feng Yinggu was exasperated to the limit. No, really no. The sponsor was stubborn. I'm starving to death. If I die, I can't play your game anymore, you know? You'll lose a major client. How about 20 points? No? 10? Or even 5 is fine. Feng Yinggu, but I'm starving too. Liar. The sponsor didn't believe it. With your strength and how long you've been in the game, how can you have no points? Tell me, who did you sell to? I'll pay double. The two often traded and were as familiar as friends, speaking frankly and efficiently. Feng Yinggu smiled bitterly and could only confess that embarrassing bit of history, got scammed by an NPC. I saved someone, he said to thank me. He'd sell a batch of top-tier deathgrass cheap. Just needed to resell it for big profit. I thought it was a rescue reward, so I believed him. Who knew that bastard sold me long-spotted herbs, completely useless. We wrote it clear in black and white, both sides voluntary. The points were thrown into the river, no logic could explain it. If I hadn't met an acquaintance who gave me food, with my hunger bar at 0, I'd have already quit the game. I'm seriously starving, not joking. A long while later, the sponsor sent a string of silence. Feng Yinggu thought he'd embarrassed himself too much, but then came the reply, didn't expect you to be as unlucky as me. Feng Yinggu, huh? He was shocked. The sponsor began telling his own miserable story. I just registered today, joined a team to kill monsters. On the way, I saved an NPC, thinking I'd gain favor and rewards, but got distracted and had my loot stolen. My stamina's almost gone, hunger at 12, I rushed offline to ask for help. If I can't buy points, I'll die here, glorious death on day 1. No way, I haven't gotten revenge. Even if I quit, I'll hunt that thief and repay the NPC first. Feng Yinggu thought, no wonder he's so bitter, he's cursed too. I know someone with points. Wait, I'll ask her, maybe she'll sell. He opened another window, seeking help from Van Sam. At that moment, the sponsor, like Sherlock Holmes, guessed who she was from one word, her. He messaged Van Sam directly, it's time for a simple, pure financial transaction. Van Sam misunderstood, you mean to take over my Heaven's Punishment account? Heaven's Punishment was another online game she'd played. She planned to sell the account and items separately, but if someone bought all, easier for her. The sponsor, no, I mean to buy Apocalypse-based points at a high price, check the group chat. Just then, Feng Yinggu sent his long explanation. Van Sam quickly grasped the situation. Remembering their previous deals, she said, I just started the game, points are valuable, I can sell you 10 at most. The sponsor wasn't a newbie. He knew early game capital was key, being 10 points short now could slow him later. So he generously transferred 2,000 yuan, 10 it is, when do we meet? Van Sam thought, I'm out of time today, can't log in again. Tomorrow morning. Okay. Business settled, Van Sam turned to Feng Yinggu, that NPC sold you spotted deathgrass? How many? While explaining, Feng Yinggu accidentally revealed how he'd been duped. Thinking it might sell better if he sounded pitiful, he didn't retract. Quest Hall buys at 2 points per herb, pharmacy sells at 2.5, I bought at 1.4 per piece, total 30. The memory was too painful, burned into him. He'd expected to flip it for 18 points profit, who knew he'd end up broke? Van Sam calculated and offered two options. 1. I buy all 30 death herbs at 1.4 each. 2. We cooperate, you provide materials, I handle technique and gear, we split profits. But you follow my lead. Though they hadn't dealt much, Feng Yinggu had heard good things about her, steady, reliable, never careless. Thinking things couldn't get worse, he decided, I'll take option 2. Fortune favors the bold. Good, contact you tomorrow. The next day. Upon logging in, Van Sam found the base shrouded in fine rain, dreamlike and beautiful. After a night, her status bar showed stamina, 100 of 100%. Hunger, 92 of 100%. Stamina fully restored, hunger same as before. Walking through rain, her clothes soaked, she soon reached her destination. Han Jia Khan had just logged in, hiding at the blacksmith's. Seeing her, he was thrilled. Han Jia Khan was the in-game sponsor. Since accounts auto-linked to IDs, everyone used real names. Without a word, Van Sam transferred him 10 points, done. Han Jia Khan was touched by her efficient service, no fuss, straight business. He added her as friend, said thanks, then rushed out to buy food in the rain. In-game senses were vivid, even hunger felt real. He swore he'd never been this hungry in his life. Barely managing a full meal, what a perfect doomsday vibe. When he left, Van Sam entered the pharmacy. Half an hour later, she carried newly bought tools and met Feng Yinggu at the rental house. What's this? He asked. Alchemy tools, she explained, pointing, mortar and pestle, for grinding. Pot, for brewing. And this, his mouth twitched, even if the herbs recover, selling them won't repay the tool cost. We won't just do this once. He caught on, a long-term profit plan? Exactly. Where's the death grass? In storage. Just mentioning it made him choke. After trade, the NPC told me how to get it and made me go first. I didn't think, figured it was simple, just deliver to the quest hall. Who knew the herbs were defective? The long, spotted kind dies fast, unusable for medicine. Luckily, storing cost a fee, after 7 days, more payment needed. Otherwise, with no points or contacts to borrow from, I'd have to dump them. Alright, bring them here. Van Sam picked up her small hoe, ready for the garden. Remembering their deal, Feng Yinggu followed orders without question. Soon, 30 herbs arrived and were planted in the soil. Replanting and healing takes 4 days, making the ointment takes 3, about a week total. I'll contact you after. Wait, making medicine, he realized. She nodded, raw herbs don't sell high, ointment does. Deathgrass is the main ingredient of death balm, which activates blood and reduces bruises. For small bumps, redness, or mosquito bites, apply thickly, healed within 2 days. Because the base sits in a canyon full of mosquitoes, death balm is a household necessity. Once it's made, no worry about selling. He wanted to ask, you know how to make it, but thought that'd sound dumb. Obviously she did. Left with no choice, he trusted her. Need help, just ask. All right. She smiled. The next few days she stayed busy tilling soil, planting herbs, mixing potions, wiping leaves thrice daily. Day 1, no change. Day 2, spots faded. Day 3, most recovered. Day 4, all cured. The herbs thrived with vitality. Van Sam harvested them, bought materials, and began brewing bomb. Lumberyard. Feng Yinggu swung the NPC's axe, chopping wood blow by blow. It was exhausting and boring. If not desperate, he'd never do this. Once, he'd used lumberyard work as a stepping stone, a decent side job. Later, after saving up some money to start business, he quit. Then got scammed and could only return to chopping wood. Out of options, he came back. After 2 hours straight, he sat resting and chatted. Heard there's an ointment called Death Bomb, really good, it true? From experience, higher NPC favor meant better answers, low favor gave vague or nonsense replies. Since joining, he'd stayed here half a month, knew 3 NPCs, hoping at least one would talk. Unexpectedly, at the mention of Death Bomb, they perked up, chatting lively. So many poisonous mosquitoes here, Death Bomb's a home must. Last year I forgot to buy a head. When I ran out, I went to 5 shops, still none. Got bitten all over, itchy till sleepless. Death herbs mature once every 3 months, materials limited, ointment always short. To avoid shortage, I always stock up early, buy as soon as I open the last one. Same. Without 1 or 2 jars at home, I can't sleep in peace. The NPCs chatted away, revealing loads of info. Listening, Feng Yinggu couldn't help but sigh. Just listen to that, so real. So alive. The immersion was incredible, he almost believed these NPCs truly lived in a place called Red Wind Base, worrying about daily little things. After 2 days of labor, Feng Yinggu cleared all his debts. A week later, he was called by Van Sam to sign a lease. This is the violet grass ointment I made, Van Sam said while handing over a small round wooden box the size of a coin. Feng Yinggu took it and examined it carefully. The paste was a purple-red hue with a faint refreshing scent. The lid was carved with the words Trade Market Sale, crafted by Van Sam. What is this trade market, he wondered. Van Sam replied, it's like a bazaar. Players can put crafted items up for consignment sale, and once sold, a 5% transaction tax is deducted. What if the item has quality problems? There's an inspection before listing, only qualified goods are approved. The engraved name of the maker, is that for brand awareness? Exactly, Van Sam nodded. Same item but made by different people has different effectiveness, and at the same price. The higher grade one sells better, seeing hundreds of wooden boxes scattered across the table. Feng Yinggu sighed. I thought you could do this alone, no need to drag me in. Now I think I understand why, Van Sam said. I asked you to join because that batch of herbs was yours. In truth, she could have done it alone, you spent so much effort, and I only provided herbs, yet we split evenly, Van Sam seriously said. You can't count it like that, tools are reusable, ingredients don't cost much, custom boxes add a bit, but I made a deal with the carpenter, he'll take the ointment as payment, so we share expenses, all in all, and even split is fair. She didn't mention that violet grass was always in short supply. If she bought it from a pharmacy, it'd be expensive and limited. Feng Yinggu produced 30 plants in one go, saving a lot of trouble. 30 violet grasses yield 336 boxes of ointment, Van Sam tallied. 20 boxes go to the carpenter as payment. 300 boxes for sale at 8 points each, 16 boxes left, we split 8 each to handle freely. Feng Yinggu pondered, can we even sell that many? The game doesn't have many players yet. Few players doesn't matter, Van Sam said. I plan to sell to NPCs. Feng Yinggu was stunned. At the lumberyard, NPC Mr. True rolled up his sleeves revealing 7 swollen mosquito bites, scratching here and there furiously. The welts were red, itchy beyond endurance. He took out a round wooden box empty, not a smear left, and angrily tossed it aside. I have some. Would you like to try? Feng Yinggu appeared suddenly, offering a box. Mr. True, desperate from the itch, accepted and applied it. Instantly a cool sensation spread, and the itching lessened. This is fresh violet grass ointment I bought a few days ago, unopened. Please take it, said Feng warmly. Mr. True wanted to refuse but every pharmacy in camp had been out of stock for days. Thinking it might take ages before restock, he shuddered, gripping the box while scolding kindly. You work too hard, workers get breaks. You should rest sometimes. Feng caught on, wages were hourly, no quota, if tired, rest. Usually anyone idling was scolded, but now with this gift and higher favorability, he'd get away with longer rests. That night, Mr. True slept soundly. Ever since his bites, he hadn't slept well, but now woke refreshed and relaxed. Lifting his sleeve, he was astonished to see all 7 welts gone, skin clear as if untouched. Before, it took 2 days for these to fade, now one night and they're gone? He exclaimed, noticing the carved mark trade market sale, crafted by Van Sam. He leapt up and ran to the market. Such a miraculous ointment must be stocked up. For 2 days straight, Feng and Gu acted oddly generous, though nearly broke in working lumber for survival. He kept sharing ointment with any NPC bitten by mosquitoes. One elder warned, use sparingly, those aren't cheap, no worries, a gift from someone. Feng laughed, everyone treats me well, sharing's only right. The NPCs grew fond of him, chatting freely, bought from the market? Works great, I'll get some tomorrow, couldn't buy it for ages, good to know it's there, I'll stop by later. Why is this ointment so effective? Stops itching instantly, bites gone overnight, who knows the science, as long as it works. I once bought from Du Xian Hall, 12 points a box, still slower than this one, someone exclaimed. Du Xian Hall's the best clinic in camp. Their version's costlier but high quality and gentle on skin, another added, gentle or not, who cares, pricey's true enough. Most workers were poor, so cheap and effective hit home. They all planned to buy after shift, outwardly calm. Feng was inwardly stunned. Van Sam was right, NPCs do shop. At the mine, Ha Truong Tan had mosquito bites on his wrists, legs, and neck, itching madly. What kind of mosquito is this? Drives me crazy. New players wore thin gear, exposing skin to relentless bugs. Without ointment, wounds took 5 days to heal and itching ruined focus. He tried to tough it out to save for longer clothes but overestimated his willpower. Only 8 points? I'll buy it, he decided. After work he rushed to the pharmacy, only to be told, out of stock, restocking soon. 2 more shops said the same, willing to pay but unable to spend. He felt absurd. Then several NPCs exited the trade market, each holding a box, beaming as if striking gold. Thrilled, Ha entered. Inside were vending machines and counters with NPC clerks. Puzzled, he watched a boy operate a machine, print a receipt, hand it over, and receive a box of ointment. Happy as could be. Ha understood, tried a machine, categories listed neatly: clothes, bags, medicine. Under medicines, violet grass ointment, quantity 1, price 8 points, seller, Van Sam. Gray tag, violet grass ointment, quantity 5, price 40 points, seller, Van Sam. Gray tag. Shocked by the rows of her listings, he muttered, one person can list this many. Pressing buy, he paid 8 points, received a receipt, and got the ointment. 3 days later, Van Sam called Feng to split earnings. 300 boxes at 8 points each, total 2,400 points, after 5% tax, net 2280. We split 1140 each, sold that fast? Feng was astonished. Only 300, that's slow, Van Sam said coolly, transferring the funds. Feng was speechless. Not long ago he fretted over 1 point, starving, and now 1140 points, at 100 credits per point, that's 11,400. They'd cooperated less than half a month. His heart pounded as he glanced at Van Sam, still in beginner clothes, made so much, yet no new outfit? Not afraid of mosquitoes, not afraid, she said calmly, they don't bite me. Her interaction affinity talent repelled them. Changing topic, Feng said, I checked the trade market, those vending machines are really convenient. Doomsday Base truly considers player experience. Other games make players idle or set up stalls. Now we can list items and trade anytime. Van Sam thought silently, you think too much even without players. NPCs live on just fine. Half a month ago, a batch of low-grade purple herbs covered in mold spots was delivered to the eastern residential area. A week ago, the wood processing workshop obtained 20 boxes of refined high-grade purple herb paste. Soon after, 300 boxes of the same quality high-grade purple herb paste appeared on the trading market and sold out at astonishing speed, Ta Tin reported near the command seat. How many were in that batch? Lu Min asked. 30 plants, Ta Tin replied. 30 low-grade herbs produce 320 boxes of high-grade paste? Lu Min sneered, if I remember correctly, the best purple herbs each pharmacy in the base can get can only produce 7 to 9 boxes of paste, at most 10 boxes being the absolute limit. No wonder supplies are always short if they keep cutting corners. Maybe they improved the formula, Ta Tin guessed. Before Lu Min could respond, a sharp pain struck. He clutched his forehead, his brows tightening from the stabbing ache. Sir, is your old headache acting up again? Hunia on his right shouted in panic, should I fetch a doctor to take a look? If they could cure it, it wouldn't keep coming back. Lu Min gritted his teeth, enduring the pain through sheer will. When we just returned to the base half a month ago, your symptoms were clearly lighter. Why is it getting worse again? Hunia muttered, puzzled. The pain came in waves. After enduring the hardest moment, Lumen's expression finally relaxed, color returning to his face. Increase manpower and secretly protect Yun Sam. She's very important to me, nothing must happen to her. They only knew that in the eastern residential area lived a female healer skilled in making ointments, alone. How their leader knew her name Yun Sam, no one dared to ask. Ta Tin and Hunia exchanged glances and replied together, understood. Du Swan Hall. The newly made purple herb paste was priced at 12 credits per batch, yet few came to buy. 2 days later, Manager Lam couldn't sit still. In the past, our purple herb paste would sell out by morning. Why are sales dropping so badly now? Steward Truong explained, some time ago, all the major pharmacies ran out of stock, letting freelance doctors in the trading market take advantage. They sold 300 boxes in one go. Lately, everyone might just have enough paste, so business is slow. Give it time, once people run out of ointment at home, sales will pick up again. Manager Lam frowned. 300 boxes? Where did the materials come from? In the Hong Fong base, all purple herb sources were held by the big pharmacies. Residents could only buy one plant per month. Even with the recipe, without herbs, no ointment could be made. 300 boxes meant nearly 40 plants, if each yielded 8 boxes. A commoner without backing, where could they get that many herbs? Send someone to investigate. I want this matter cleared up. Yes, sir. Steward Truong nodded stiffly. He hadn't told the truth, residents weren't just well stocked, they even praised the hot-selling paste from the trading market and quietly criticized Du Swan Hall's products. The reason was simple: ours cost more but weren't as effective. Rumors spread fast, and customers thinned out. Still, Truong dared not tell his boss directly. He held on to one bit of hope: ordinary folk couldn't farm herbs, so they couldn't maintain a steady supply of high-quality materials forever. Once the trading market ran out of stock, things would return to normal. Having earned a good amount, Yun Sam bought herself a new, comfortable outfit. Meanwhile, Feng Yingu, after receiving his share, quit the logging field job. What will you do next? I haven't decided yet, Yun Sam said. What about the purple herb paste? Will you keep making it? I want to, but I have no materials. Buy them at the pharmacy? Purchase. Limit. Go gather them yourself? Take bounty quests? Gathering is time-consuming and unsafe. Bounty quests usually turn into price wars, Yun Sam analyzed calmly. Feng Yingu fell silent. In half a month he had earned over 1,000 credits easily, and he was reluctant to give up such profit, but he couldn't help much with alchemy, and couldn't supply herbs either. If only they could get another batch of raw materials. NK books. He sank into thought. Yun Sam stopped selling the paste, yet the story kept spreading. At some point, the paste sold at the trading market gained the name refined purple herb paste. Because it was both cheap and effective, more and more NPCs favored it. The sales of major pharmacies all suffered, especially Du Swan Hall. As Mr. Zhao, the supervisor of the logging yard, said, once you've used refined paste, the others just don't feel right. The itch relief wasn't as good. The swelling reduction was slower. Compared side by side, the gap was obvious. Manager Lam of Du Swan Hall was secretly furious, but nothing helped, sales plummeted, and recovery seemed impossible. Once the store's star product, the paste now sat on shelves all day, with less than a third sold by closing time. Meanwhile, hearing how handcrafted items made by players were selling like hotcakes, many grew excited. This wasn't just the victory of the refined paste, it was the victory of players. Some even realized, why work for wages? Start your own business. Life pressure had forced many to do side jobs since entering the game, barely exploring the base. Now, inspired, many players quit and began their ventures. So when Yun Sam walked around town, she saw people selling egg rolls, rice cakes, meat buns, street food of all kinds. She bought one of each to try. The egg rolls were crisp and light, the rice cakes soft and sweet, the meat buns spicy and fragrant. She couldn't stop at one bite and finally left, satisfied. At the fur market, 5 gray named players and 1 white named player surrounded an NPC trader, haggling. These wolf dogs are 2-star. Plus 6 1-star wolves. 130 credits is too low, can't you raise it? The NPC's face was blank. Look at them, matted fur, dull eyes, skin and bones, weak barks. Clearly injured and sick. What could you use them for? Eat? Make coats? They're useless. In Hongfong Base, where countless beasts were traded daily, the NPC couldn't care less about one low-quality 2-star wolf dog. He waved impatiently. 130 credits, take it or leave it. The 6 players exchanged glances, hesitating. Just then, Yun Sam stepped inside. I'll pay 160. Sell it to me. Such sharp eyes. Catching that a 2-star wolf is rare alive, one player praised, trying to raise the price. Unexpectedly, Yun Sam said, if you raise it, I won't buy. The room went dead silent. Seconds later, the white named player quickly agreed. Deal. The 2-star wolf was jet black, medium-sized, half-dead, lying weakly yet alert. Yun Sam stroked its neck without fear of its rough fur. Good boy, come with me. The wolf seemed soothed, its wary gaze softened. It let Yun Sam lift it without resistance. On the way home, she thought carefully. Early in the game, Hongfong's NPCs were roughly 65% 1-star, 30% 2-star, 5% 3-star, and only 1 4-star powerhouse, Lumin. Once the wolf recovered, it could guard her safely. If she raised it well, reaching 3 stars would make her much safer. Yun Sam's affinity talent ensured beasts bonded easily, so obedience wasn't a problem. All she needed was a creature with high potential and fast growth. Back home, Yun Sam placed the wolf on the table, fetched clean water, and washed its wounds. The beast was filthy, blood and dirt clung to its fur, with bruises hidden under the black coat. After cleaning, she applied the purple herb paste. The ointment promoted blood flow and reduced bruises. NPCs usually used it for mild swelling or insect bites, but it also treated internal bruising effectively. As she dabbed it on, she gently soothed, sleep now, when you wake, you'll be fine. Must not sleep. In this strange place, I can only rely on myself. If I sleep, I may never wake again. The 2-star wolf repeated this thought, but its eyelids grew heavy, the soft voice in its ears like a lullaby. Soon, it drifted into peaceful sleep. When it woke, its wounds were bandaged, and before it was a bowl of corn cake pieces mixed with chicken and radish, warm and fragrant. From now on, you're Dahe, and you'll live with me. Yun Sam patted its head. I often go out, you'll guard the house. If strangers come, chase them away, don't hurt anyone, understand? A warm home, warm food, no danger, Dahe was content. It licked Yun Sam's fingers, as if to say, understood. After settling the beast, Yun Sam logged off. Today's total online time, 240 minutes, 4 hours, maximum reached. Physical condition, healthy. Starting tomorrow, daily limit increases by 1 hour, now 5 hours. Please balance playtime and rest. Yun Sam reflected, lately she had slept less yet felt more energetic, stronger, and sharper. Her physical fitness had clearly improved, letting her consciousness projection last longer, thus, her online limit rose. The Cashburner gaming group burst into a frenzy over a giant bounty, members camped to snatch registration codes, rushed to create accounts, dove into the game to grind and trade potions while sharing hard-won tips. In no time at all the chat was buzzing every day about Doomsday Base. Te Hotui Tanuak Mat, Cam. What a blasted game. No innate talents at the start, no free combat skills, I can only toil like a coolie. Online 4 hours a day, what I earn barely feeds me. No wonder 1 point equals 100 cash units, living like a monk for a day just to scrape together 1 point. Oi Troyo, for real. A full dive VR game where fighting isn't about built-in skills but your own technique. But I'm a shut-in with noodle arms, crying here. Ta Ize Dung, since entering the game, the construction soul hidden in me awakened. No more talk, I'm heading back to build a career. Trechan Nui Koi Dong, I've observed for a few days and husbandry looks promising. Here's the latest reading list. Trechan Nui Koi Dong, high-efficiency pig raising, pig nutrition and feed mixing techniques, veterinary drugs and common swine
NK
disease
books.
prevention, practical pig raising handbook, care of sows through pregnancy and postpartum. Te Hotui Tanuak Mat, are you a demon? Ta Ize Dung, you're not suited to this. Oi Troya, a ruthless one. You've piqued my curiosity. What kind of game needs you to learn pig farming offline? Are the mechanics really that wild? Thus the enthusiastic crowd launched another round of popular science, and more members jumped into the pit. Just then, a piece of news split the sky. Rich rogue, willful as ever, buying Doomsday base points, 1 point equals 100 cash units, as many as you have, I'll take. Te Hotui Tanuak Mat, as many as I have? Te Hotui Tanuak Mat, alright, boss, I'm off to mine points. At this moment, Hanjia Khan was PMing someone through a small chat window. Wine, dine and play, what is Doomsday base? Worth you chucking wads of money into and claiming the upside has no ceiling? Wine, dine and play is one of the famed patrons in the Cash Burner group, knows Hanjia Khan in real life, and they get along. For old time's sake, Hanjia Khan didn't hide it. I have a small cyst, the doc advised surgery. I hate the hassle and kept putting it off. A few days ago I went in for a routine check. Doc said the cyst had shrunk a notch, no surgery needed, no effect on daily life. Wine, dine and play, huh? Hanjia Khan went on, since registering a Doomsday base account, I log about 4 hours a day, my body feels buoyant, and everything tastes great. Wine, dine and play, did someone steal your account? Too lazy to explain, Hanjia Khan closed with, I'm leveling with you as a brother. Trust me, buying in won't lose. Wine, dine and play, leveling with me, my ass. Beat it. Believe it or not, up to you. Hanjia Khan casually closed the chat. Before the vanity mirror, Mokkan inspected her face. Finding every clogged bump gone and her skin smooth like a freshly peeled egg, she was thrilled and stunned. She has oily skin, prone to acne, no skincare ever fixed it. Lately she's been staying up and binging hot, spicy wok-fried dishes. She expected an eruption, yet. Mokkan suddenly recalled what Tai Yanhan once said, stay long enough in the game and your skin gets better. So it wasn't a joke. In this instant, her mindset shifted. She'd felt that digging herbs every day was dull as dust, the gameplay experience poor, and she'd considered quitting. Now, if playing means no breakouts, forget herbs, she'd even go mine or training ground. Tai Yanhan was sparring. When they finished, the senior brother plopped down, baring his teeth. You've been in some special training these days? Your strength's up a lot. Because of physiological differences, under equal training conditions girls' raw strength tends to trail boys. Tai Yanhan had always won on technique, a bit short on power. But today she seemed like a different person, patching the shortboard completely. The senior brother thought he was humoring her, one careless moment and he capsized in the ditch, eating 2 vicious shots. Tai Yanhan smiled, told you to take it seriously. You wouldn't listen. He protested, how was I to know that in just a month your ability would surge like this? Only strength went up, she arched a brow. He considered it, your hands are faster, you hit harder, and your real fight experience feels richer. She smiled, correct. He blanched, what on earth have you been doing lately? In peacetime, martial artists like them don't easily gain real combat experience. Playing a VR game and practicing on small mobs, she said, sending him the web address. If you're interested, jump in. A VR game, he was taken aback. Design firm, night, 10 o'clock. A coworker, face haggard, sprawled on the desk and moaned, finally done, these overtime nights are about to kill me. After wailing, she added, you matte with envy tinged green, I suspect you have the skill of sleeping with your eyes open, but sadly I lack evidence. And Matt gathered her files. I don't. Don't talk nonsense. Then how come from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, weekends included, your energy's still overflowing? You look radiant, like you sleep 10 hours a day. Because I carve out time to game for stress relief, and Matt replied. Sleep time's short, but the quality is good. Question marks dotted the co-worker's face. Commuting takes time, washing up takes time, sleep takes time, yet this woman squeezes in gaming? Was she born short on sleep? And Matt laughed and explained, I'm not just gaming, I'm training my body in-game to boost fitness, preventing overwork and sudden death from all-nighters. The co-worker fell silent. I believe, something, sure. Previously, when hungry, Van Sam would grab street food at random. After raising Die Hack and finding his nutrition poor, she hired an NPC to build a tiny kitchen next to her rental and started cooking herself. Post-evolution, magical beasts have formidable digestion, with almost no dietary taboos, they can even eat human fare. Van Sam steamed sticky rice, spread it, layered in crullers, pork floss, and chicken breast, then folded the sides over the middle into a long oval, Chinese-style rice rolls, done. For convenience she sliced them, set them in a bowl, and fed Die Hack. He gobbled, one bite apiece, happy as could be. Van Sam turned to the stove, took out a strip of pork backbone, and began braising it in soy sauce. Bones washed and blanched, ordinarily you'd add aromatics and simmer, but she took a shortcut, chopped various medicinal herbs and spices, bundled them in cloth, set bones, bundle, cooking wine, and soy in the pot, brought it to a boil, skimmed the froth, then simmered low. As time passed, the fragrance deepened, Die Hack abandoned the rice rolls, ears pricked, posting himself by the stove and refusing to budge. More tonic herbs in the broth, good for your body, Van Sam cooed, stroking his fur. He licked his lips, clearly impatient. After a while, Die Hack hugged a thick, saucy bone and gnawed with bliss, unwilling to let go. Rich, mellow sauce, fatty yet not greasy, tender bite delicious, Van Sam chose a bone with fewer splinters and ate with rice. In the medicine plot, the newly sown nightshade has another 13 plants showing spots. Finishing his inspection, Trin Huynh felt a wave of powerlessness. Since he took over the herb garden, growth had lagged, overall quality declined, and blemished stock exploded. He didn't know who was sabotaging him in the dark. He pressed his brow, vexed, too many spotted nightshades this time. From sowing to harvest is roughly 3 months, not only no profit, I'm about to go into debt. Imagining selling off his property to pay creditors and walking away empty-handed, he choked. Today, he had just reeled in a mark and spun a honeyed tale. My family has run herb gardens for generations. Not long ago we were framed, the garden shuttered, I still have a batch of top-grade nightshade not yet handled. If you're willing, I'll let them go cheap. The player with the gray nickname brightened, really? Of course. With his honest-faced look, Trin Huynh dispelled the other's doubts entirely. The buyer thought pies were falling from the sky and that he'd accidentally triggered a special, richly rewarded quest. If you're interested, follow me, Trin Huynh said, leading the way. Passing the trading market, Greyname asked, curious, if your nightshade's so good, why not list it there? Trin Huynh's heart skipped, damn, so many newcomers in the base, so many who don't know the ropes, and somehow he picked the one who does? Rolling his eyes inwardly, he said, I'm being watched. If I show my face, nothing gets done. Ah, targeted on purpose. Reasonable enough, the buyer stopped fussing. Soon they halted near a warehouse. I was afraid storing it at home would get it stolen or ruined, so I parked it here, Trin Huynh said. Nightshade's scarce lately, the mission hall buys at 3 points a plant, I'll sell to you at 2 points. We sign, you transfer the points, and I'll tell you how to pick up the goods. Deal, I'll take 30. Contract signed. Trin Huynh waited for the fat sheep to transfer funds, only to see Greyname smile, I want to inspect. Hand over 30 top-grade plants first, I'll pay after. The contract signed. Failure to deliver is fraud. Trin Huynh froze. Never mind that this price for top-grade stock was laughable, even if he could stomach it, he had nothing to hand over. Nightshade spoiled easily lately, he'd already dumped anything passable to the pharmacy rather than let it mold in his hands. Realizing the jig was up, he spun to flee and ran into Feng Yingu with two black-clad bodyguards blocking the path. "Fancy meeting you again." He knew he'd been had. "We agreed on 2 points a plant, 30 plants total. Why are you running?" Feng Yingu smiled without smiling. Trin Huan flicked a glance at the guards, eyes flickering. Feng Yingu snorted, "To avoid any accidents, I hired a 3-star expert as bodyguard. I'm giving you a lot of face, touched yet?" "Touched, my foot." Trin Huan went pale. "What do you want?" "Either honor the contract we just signed, or hand over all the low-grade nightshade you have and sell it to me at 1/10 of a point a plant," Feng Yingu enunciated. "If you refuse, I'll deliver you to the base guards." Trin Huan gaped. In this day and age, who still rushes headlong into a scam? Author's note: Cash Burner Gaming Group members, our bond is pure, trustworthy, and rock solid, a relationship welded by money. After several days of careful feeding, Big Black had put on some flesh, and his fur became smoother and more obedient. He lay lazily in the yard basking in the sun, waiting quietly for his next meal. Just then, Feng Yingu arrived with some people to rent a house, and the moment he saw a 2-star beast lying in the yard, he froze. "Haven't seen you for a while and now even Van Sam has a battle pet?" Catching the scent of strangers, Big Black's lazy look instantly vanished. He stood up in alert mode, growling to drive off the intruders. "Where's Van Sam?" "I'm her friend," Feng Yingu quickly explained that he meant no harm, but Big Black didn't listen, blocking their way and refusing to let them come closer. "Calm down, we're family, don't attack." Feng Yingu tried to soothe the wolf dog, drawing on his experience petting dogs at friends' houses. He thought to stroke its fur to build rapport. Having never seen a battle pet, Feng Yingu assumed it was no different from a normal pet, not realizing how fierce they were. Van Sam's pet was newly raised and not yet under contract, so its temper was even worse. Seeing the stranger unmoved, blood slowly filled Big Black's eyes, and in a flash, its ferocity burst out. It lunged forward, jaws wide to bite. "Damn it!" Feng Yingu cursed. Caught off guard and too close, he was a second too slow and about to be bitten when his bodyguard reacted. An NPC almost teleported in front of him to block the attack. Big Black's eyes glowed crimson, and even after being pushed back it tried to pounce again. "Big Black, stop!" The familiar voice rang in its ears. The red faded from its eyes, and it calmed down. Feng Yingu's heart raced. "That dog's too vicious." Van Sam held Big Black, soothing it softly before saying, "Just bought him, not yet trained, give it some time. Why raise a battle pet?" Feng Yingu couldn't tell battle pets from beasts, assuming Big Black was one. "I heard battle pets eat a ton, can ruin their owners, ordinary folks can't afford them." Big Black froze. Van Sam smiled. "I'm not good at fighting, just need him to guard the house." "You're only online 4 hours a day, not easy to feed," Feng Yingu reminded. "Doesn't matter, I can log in shifts," she replied lightly, then asked, "What brings you here?" At that, Feng Yingu perked up. "I got another batch of withered grass." Van Sam was surprised. "Another batch?" "Yeah," he said, eyebrows dancing. "Last time an NPC tricked me into buying, this time I forced him to sell. Fair trade now. 0.1 point per stock, 72 stocks total, absolute bargain." NPC said there were cheaper ones but they'd rotted away, so I didn't take them, since we already paid and signed. Even if he learns later we healed the grass and made ointment to sell, he can't do anything. This deal's fair. Legal, voluntary, still nursing resentment from being cheated before, Feng Yingu now felt totally vindicated and lighter than air. "Good you didn't take the rotten ones," Van Sam said. "Dead withered grass can't be saved." He coughed. "Anyway, ingredients are ready. About the ointment business, same as before." She smiled. "Split 50-50, points never hurt to have more." "Found anything?" the pharmacy chief asked with a dark face. His steward bowed. "We did, not long ago. That Trin boy used 30 withered stalks to scam someone. Days later refined high-grade ointment. So the premium ointment's made from low-grade grass? 30 stalks became 300 boxes. The chief laughed in disbelief. "It's true," the steward said, pale, "and rumor has it he sold all rights to 72 stalks 2 days ago." 72, the chief nearly fainted. Their shop sales had plummeted since that ointment gained fame. The blow from 300 boxes hadn't passed and now 700 more were coming. How could their NK Books shop survive? He never imagined worrying about selling less of something everyone wanted. "Chief," the steward ventured, "should we cut prices? Easy to lower, hard to raise again." He mused. "Go visit the other pharmacy heads, say I've urgent business and invite them here." Tilling soil, replanting herbs, wiping leaves, feeding Big Black. Van Sam's days were simple yet full. Only one thing puzzled her. Seeing half a bowl of rice balls left uneaten, she asked, "Not tasty?" Why so little? Big Black woofed softly, saying he was just full. Strange, I only feed you 70% full so I can increase later when you're healthier. How come you can't finish even that? Sick? He insisted no. But then his stomach growled loudly, remembering he'd eaten less since the day Feng and Gu left. Van Sam laughed. Don't tell me you believed his nonsense, thinking eating too much will bankrupt your owner. Big Black lay flat, silent. He could eat a lot and had a bad temper. If he didn't restrain himself he'd surely be disliked. Of course not. Van Sam stroked his head. You eating well and getting strong helps me greatly. His ears perked. Really or really, she said, placing the bowl before him. Eat all you want, I can afford it. This time he trotted over, gulping until the bowl was clean. After long playtime, Han Jia-Khan realized high realism wasn't always good. Fighting monsters hurt like real. Hunger felt real. Even mosquito bites itched insanely. His arm, covered with welts, he scratched thrice every 10 minutes wanting to rip skin for relief. Poor planning, he sighed. If I'd known premium ointment was one-off I'd stocked more. NPC ointment was pricey and useless, itch relief nearly zero. After using Van Sam's special batch, nothing else compared. 300 boxes sold out, no restock, even trade markets empty, he muttered, yet his feet moved there anyway. In the bustling hall, crowds surrounded vending machines, flipping menus, sighing when not found, leaving dejectedly. Every NPC moved identically, like programmed. Seeing that, Han Jia-Khan understood. No more premium ointment listings. Between accept fate and seek help he hesitated 1 second, then chose the latter. Logging off, removing his VR helmet, he opened the gold chat console, typing, any spare premium ointment? Price negotiable. As a rich man, his instinct was to solve problems with money. Van Sam happened to be online and replied fast, 8 boxes total, at most 3 for you, 2,000 each. To Han, money fixed everything. He instantly said, deal, and sent 6,000. She replied, when online, meet me East Housing area, I'll hand them over. Looking at himself, sometimes rich sometimes broke, can't even buy points with cash, who knows when luck'll turn. Glancing at Van Sam, started from nothing, her ointment praised by players and NPCs alike, already a big figure, he sighed. Same game, worlds apart. Feng and Gu teased, she got lucky, found a formula, we got unlucky, fooled and robbed by NPCs. How compare? Van Sam said nothing, he didn't ask, but both knew, veteran players like them had seen it all. Han muttered, you've got a point, NPC Mr. Zhao lately formed a habit. After work he'd stroll the trade market before going home. Lately the ointment was scarce. Pharmacies all stocked lower ones ineffective. Entering the hall, he carried faint hope, maybe premium ointment's back. Before finishing the thought, he saw long queues at vending machines, everyone grinning wide. Startled, he hurried closer and saw medicine name, purple grass ointment quantity, 1 price, 8 points seller. Van Sam, hidden, name, purple grass ointment quantity, 5 price, 40 points seller. Van Sam, hidden. Listings increased fast, nearly 800 boxes total. After all his waiting, it finally came true. His lips curled upward uncontrollably, he snatched 5 boxes. Fearing sellout, 300 boxes gone in a blink, 800 gone by third morning. Sales speed stunned everyone, those late who missed it crowded staff. When next sale, can you post notice or a board? Staff strained to explain, listings are private, we don't know schedule, then announce it. Once premium ointment hits, hang a banner in the hall, residents yelled, no wonder it sells so fast, all your fault, staff. On the second trade, Feng and Gu led his people to corner Trin Huyen, not only wanting to seize all the low-grade purple grass but also forcing her to reveal her residence. 800 boxes of refined purple grass bombs sold out, and Feng and Gu sought her again, hoping to bond and ask if there was any way to get more materials, yet upon arrival he found the herb garden had changed owners and Trin Huyen was nowhere to be found. Every pharmacy he visited gave the same answer, this year's purple grass yield dropped sharply, temporarily out of stock. Realizing something was off, Feng returned to his rented house with a sigh. The NPCs colluded to monopolize raw materials, this business can't go on. I know, Van Sam said calmly, to make purple grass bomb you also need several other ingredients. One of them is rare, not much in use, and the big pharmacies have banned its sale. Luckily we stocked up the first time, so the second batch wasn't affected. In the post-apocalyptic world, money or rather points wasn't omnipotent, power mattered more. Though disappointed, Feng understood when to quit. So how much did we make this time? Count it up and later we'll find another way to earn. 800 boxes of bomb, after tax net profit 6,080, each gets 3,040, Van Sam reported. You get 4,000, I take 2, Feng said. You deserve the bigger share, this deal happened thanks to you. Van Sam shook her head. Hiring a Tier 3 expert cost plenty, finding that scammer and forcing him to hand over all the low-grade grass took effort. Without you, the second trade couldn't happen. But Feng wanted to say more. Take it, I don't lack that bit. Van Sam cut in and transferred 3,040 points. Feng fell silent. What little bit? They were talking about 1,000 points. If there's a good project needing a reliable partner, contact me, he said half-jokingly. I'll remember, Van Sam replied, meaning she wasn't planning to cooperate for now. Feng regretted it, but thinking back, thanks to Van Sam he'd gone from nearly starving to death to holding 4,000 points, a true stroke of fortune, and such luck only comes once. The rented house was quiet, only Blackie the dog sunbathing in the yard, warm sunlight spread over its fur. It rolled to toast the other side, left and right and left, waiting for mealtime, bored, its black pupils slowly tinged with red, its expression irritable. Just as it was about to run around, Van Sam logged in, hugged the dog's head. Calm down. The redness faded, Blackie tilted its head with innocent eyes. Don't fake it. I know you've got a mental ailment. Once the temper rises, you can't control yourself, Van Sam said lightly. Don't worry, it'll get better over time. The higher the rank, the easier one caught mental sickness. NPCs were like that, beasts too, though low-tier ones weren't immune. Blackie, a Tier 2 wolfhound, had injured itself badly during an episode and was later picked up by players. When Van Sam brought it home and checked its wounds, she'd already suspected. Later, when it nearly bit Feng, she was certain. Blackie stuck its tongue out to lick her palm as if to please. Since moving, it felt clearer-minded and all the more unwilling to be driven away. Meeting me means your luck's good, Van Sam smiled. Her special trait, interaction, not upgradable. 1. Animals feel great fondness and reduce attack desire. 2. She can effectively soothe them. Effective soothing included feeding, petting, cooking, chatting, playing, or simply standing quietly nearby. Van Sam herself was soothing enough, coupled with her daily herbal cooking that healed beasts. Blackie's condition had greatly improved from the red-eyed state it first came in. After watching it for a while, she said, tomorrow I'll take you out, be good, no trouble, got it? Hearing go out, Blackie's eyes lit up, it barked loudly, agreeing at once. The next day, Van Sam took Blackie to Hong Fong Clinic. Is the head doctor here? She asked an NPC. I'm Van Sam, got a big deal to discuss. Recently, as the refined purple grass bomb gained fame, the name Van Sam the Maker spread wide. The NPC blinked and went to call. Wait a moment. Sure. Van Sam sat down, Blackie lay close guarding her, not moving an inch. Hong Fong Clinic shared its name with Hong Fong Base not by coincidence. It was built and run by the Lord, akin to a government facility, while the other large clinics were civilian institutions. Van Sam had eyed this clinic early, intending to propose a trade, but delayed until now due to Blackie's unstable state. After a short wait, a woman named Chief Dr. Man arrived, saying at once, "Purple grass not for sale." "Good, I'm not here to buy," Van Sam replied. "You're not?" Man frowned. "I came to sell the refined purple grass bomb formula." The answer startled her. "I don't have an herb garden, making balm is inconvenient." "But if your clinic takes this business, it's different. You have materials, can produce in-house, sell in-store, manpower's no issue. Get the formula, start production at once." "A deal this good, surely you're tempted?" Van Sam's voice dripped persuasion. Man fell silent. The woman had already said all she meant to. Clearly this one understood both her own weakness and how to stir competition between clinics. Banning purple grass was to suppress Van Sam, yet any clinic would seize a chance at profit. "What do you want?" Man asked at last. "A hefty one-time payment," said Van Sam, "plus 30% of net profit from future bomb sales, and unlimited ingredient purchasing privileges." "Impossible. In return, I'll give you the full refined bomb formula and a free method to cure low-grade purple grass. As long as the herb isn't dead, in 2 to 4 days the spots vanish and it recovers. One plant makes 10 to 12 boxes of bomb, with higher efficacy. If you still refuse, I'll ask another clinic." She rose. Man quickly amended, 30% is impossible, 10 we can discuss. Van Sam smiled, she'd raised the sky-high price to leave haggling room. In truth, she preferred hard points now over vague profit shares, too many plans ahead, too little capital. If the chief's willing to compensate in other areas, I can yield on percentage, she said, sitting again. After verbal sparring, they settled. Hong Fong Clinic pays 20,000 points up front, plus 10% monthly net profit, and grants Van Sam unlimited herb purchases. In return, she may only sell the formula to them, cannot resell or publicly profit from medicine she makes. If she violates, profits and privileges are revoked. If your formula's fake or the cure doesn't work, you'll regret deceiving Hong Fong's head on Hong Fong ground. Mana's eyes chilled. Van Sam was unfazed. The purple grass rot comes from overly damp growth conditions. It's not as hard to treat as you think. Our farmers tend them well, even shield from rain. How could it be damp? Hasn't it rained constantly lately? Humidity higher than last year? This disease spread across all gardens, not just yours. Man was speechless. Van Sam left her address. The formula's fine. If your operation goes wrong, come find me, I'll teach you. With 20,000 in hand, Van Sam's first move was to buy land. The deal includes house and land ownership, reminded Miss Kim, the NPC agent. Each plot 3,000 points, perpetual term. Confirm spending 18,000 for 6 plots? Confirm, Van Sam said without hesitation, signing swiftly and transferring funds. Miss Kim rarely met such bold clients. Most rich buyers preferred villas, not small bamboo cottages in the East. She wondered why this one fancied the odd ones. Out of professionalism, she kept silent, finished paperwork, and said, "These 6 plots now belong to you." The 6 were adjacent. Van Sam tore down the bamboo fences. "Blackie, from now on this whole yard's yours. Run or nap as you please." Seeing its territory expand several-fold, Blackie barked with delight. "Herbs can be bought from Hong Fong now. By our deal they must sell to me, no more bans. The garden's good for veggies and grains, best to hire a caretaker. Buy a few more plots, build a self-sufficient estate, not bad." She was still dreaming when a cold gust swept her back. Blackie sprang up, barking madly behind her, tail tucked, eyes filled with fear. Van Sam turned fast, blood-red eyes, pale handsome face, dark circles, lumen, long unseen, biting his lip till blood oozed, struggling to endure. He was relapsing again. 30 minutes earlier, Lu Seaman held a strangely shaped farm tool and frowned. "What is this?" Foreman No replied respectfully, "My lord, this is a blueprint I bought from a poor wanderer, said to be a soil-loosening divine tool, also called the 5-tine steel rake. I just had people test it. Using it to loosen soil is extremely efficient. If given to farmers, in the same amount of time they can cover from 30% to 50% more area." Lu Seaman tossed the rake to Huyu. "Gie to try." The new tool with 5 sharp tines extended long, needing hardly any strength to sink into the earth. The gaps between the tines were wide and spaced out, so the area loosened was large. Huyu Gie tested for a moment and nodded. "It truly works well. Congratulations. Hong Fong Settlement has obtained the farm tool 5-tine steel rake. All fields inside the settlement gain plus 10% yield. At present the settlement has 3 harvests a year. Each harvest can yield several 10,000 caddies of grain. The settlement's residents consume several thousand caddies per day. Stores can sustain several hundred days of consumption." Ignoring the dialogue boxes popping up, Lu Seaman ordered, "I approve mass production of the 5-tine steel rake. Once made, distribute them to the farm households quickly." "Yes," said Foreman No, then hesitated. "My lord, that poor wanderer said he has other blueprints on hand, even better than the 5-tine rake, but he wants to see the lord personally before he will explain in detail." "Where is he?" "In the smithy's restroom. Lead the way." With a thought, Lu Seaman refreshed his title and the black text over his head changed from Lu Seaman to Lord. Before long they entered the restroom and a youth about 15 or 16 appeared before him. Foreman No introduced, "My lord, he is the one who presented the blueprint for the 5-tine rake." The youth was a grey-named player called Boy Van Vu. He looked around warily and said, "All of you go out. I have words to say to the lord alone." "My lord," Huyu Gie began, but Lu Seaman waved for them to withdraw. When only 2 remained he said, "What do you want to say? Speak." Boy Van Vu's expression was serious. "I have 2 more blueprints to present. but once it succeeds I want a special reward. I wonder if the Lord can spare it. What blueprints? Give them here. Besides the soil loosening divine tool, there is the soil digging divine tool and the sowing divine tool. He spoke while laying the drawings out. Lucy Min picked them up to examine. The so-called soil digging divine tool was essentially a shovel with an odd look. The handle used an anti-wobble design, and the head was built for easier spading. With a blueprint, mass production is easy. Without one, trying to improve based on current craft is extremely difficult. The sowing divine tool was a special implement with 3 points at its head, a light swing. Produced 3 neat holes in the soil so one could sow at will. It was indeed convenient. Besides these, I have other skills. For example, before the words finished he scattered a handful of powder. Lucy Min was absorbed in the drawings and off guard. He inhaled suddenly, his eyes turning knife cold. Mesmerizing powder and soft tendon powder. Where did you get them? Saved someone in the wilds, an NPC gave them. Having struck successfully, Boy Van Vu was smug. The mesmerizing powder confuses the mind. The soft tendon powder robs strength so you cannot move. Once inhaled you are meat on the chopping board. Why? Lucy Min clenched his fist, nails piercing his palm, using pain to stay clear. I heard killing the Lord drops a Lord's token, he said carelessly. Blame only that you are the Lord of Hong Fong. Killing a boss to farm a top-tier item needs no other reason, fool. With a single strike Thoy Van Vu turned into white light, logging off before death, his eyes wide with disbelief as if demanding to know why the soft tendon powder failed. Clatter, Lucy Min's head split with pain, he staggered and a teacup crashed to the floor. My lord, Hu Yu rushed in at the noise, stunned by the mess. Lucy Min's pupils looked bloodstained, only a third remained black. I will take you to Kin Lake. Too late, he pressed his brow. Take me to the Eastern District for treatment. His consciousness drifted and the urge to kill kept surging. Several times he nearly lost control. Remembering this was Hong Fong and all around were innocent residents, he barely clawed back some reason, but willpower alone could not halt the attack. His awareness blurred, his gaze unraveled. He heard Hu Yu's panicked cry, my lord, and then knew nothing. Van Sam looked up at the words above the newcomer, Lord. The face was Lucy Min's without doubt. Then why did the title read Lord? How could an NPC's header change? Van Sam had never seen such a strange case. Earlier she had always thought Lucy Min and the Lord were two people. Lucy Min, Hong Fong's foremost expert, strength unfathomable yet plagued by illness, so his mind was often unclear. The Lord, likely a mascot-like existence of the settlement, usually staying in the manor and appearing only for great matters, each time in black clothes and a black masa mask, known to none in face or power, essentially a symbol of supreme authority. My lord, Hu Yu flew over to stop him from hurting the female healer, but as he neared, Lucy Min slammed a palm into his chest and he coughed blood. Van Sam hurried to block. Stop, do not fight. Unlike before, this time he actually obeyed and stopped. He circled Van Sam, bent close and inhaled deeply, and his eyes slowly relaxed. Hu Yu was stunned. Van Sam judged by expression and motion that it was indeed Lucy Min, come, knowing she could not let him roam. She seized his wrist and pulled him into the bamboo hut. He did not resist. Hu Yu, worried for the Lord's safety, steadied his breath and followed. Van Sam pressed him into a chair for examination. At his collar she found a trace of white powder, rubbed it and frowned. Soft tendon powder, in a certain dose knocks out 3-star and lower, hinders movement of 3 stars, slows reactions, but has no effect on 4 stars. It was mesmerizing powder, Hu Yu said as he entered and explained. My lord was fine. After inhaling the mesmerizing powder he had an episode. Van Sam fell silent. The mesmerizing powder was rare and muddled the mind. Lucy Min already suffered a mental ailment, and when he raged he knew neither friend nor foe. If you added mesmerizing powder, I will simmer a calming brew for him to drink. She moved to go, but Lucy Min gripped her wrist and would not let go. Let go, she said. He acted as if he did not hear. Big Black barked in protest while circling. Lucy Min glanced once, death stare. Big Black shut its mouth and sat upright at once. What herbs do you need? I will buy them, Hu Yu volunteered. Barging into another's home to menace a dog and restrain a healer was indeed excessive. Luckily Van Sam was broad-minded and tolerant. Fine, you go. She sat by the table and, with the hand not being held, listed the ingredients and handed them over. Go and come back quickly. Understood. And he ran off. Lucy Min's state was a little better. He stared at her without blinking, his fingers holding her wrist, not painful but inescapable. Such a big man, what was she to do with him? She fretted. She wanted to cure him but had no money. She could not even buy the medicine ingredients. She could ask him to send people to collect, but why would he trust her without cause, unless she had superb skill, good repute and a trustworthy character, and those require long accumulation. She had planned to wait some time to seek him out, not expecting that in an episode, reason empty, he would come to her. Suddenly Lucy Min shifted and looked somewhere. Big Black jolted upright and paced anxiously to block. "What is it?" she asked. Lucy Min opened a wooden cupboard and found a platter of soy-braised beef. Its glossy color and aroma aroused appetite. She recalled that food made by her own hand could soothe. This platter was a snack she made specially for Big Black. First parboil the beef, then mince the herbs and spices into a cloth bag, then simmer beef, spice bag and seasonings together over a small flame until delicious. When finished she tasted a piece, tender and richly sauced. Big Black loved it so much it rationed it for happy moments. Now the whole platter was being carried off. Lucy Min ate one mouthful after another until Big Black's heart shattered. It howled and then collapsed to the floor, expression beyond wronged. "Next time I will make more for you," Van Sam consoled. It answered feebly. After a while Lucy Min stopped and pushed the dish toward her. "I do not need it, you eat." She pushed it back. This was medicinal food with herbs to help calm and restore reason. She was healthy and would not steal from the patient, but he was stubborn and pushed it to her again. "Open your mouth." She raised chopsticks, prepared to force it, and this time he cooperated, one feeding and one eating, perfectly in sync. "The herbs are back." Despite his injuries, Hu Yu raced back with everything on the list, entering to find the two close and harmonious. He felt returning later might have been better. "Give me the ingredients, I will simmer the soup." She rose toward the kitchen. Lucy Min stood up at once and Big Black trotted after. "You two stay here." Yet both pretended not to hear, so she had to relocate with man and dog in tow, watching. Hu Yu kept sensing something was off. After preparing the ingredients she finally simmered a bowl of green soup. "This bowl," before he could ask she said, "a soothing brew, calms and aids sleep." Then gulped down half to prove it was not poisoned. "No need to risk that, healer." Hu Yu was moved. "Since you dare help even when the Lord rages, I trust you," she said lightly. Habit, players often let NPCs take risks. Caution never hurt. She had long formed the habit of drinking half before feeding Lucy Min. After that she handed him the bowl. "The medicine is fine, you drink the rest." He glanced at her and drained it to the last drop. "After this, sleep and you will be fine when you wake." "That is all." Hu Yu was dazed. The treatment was simple to an unbelievable degree. Before, every episode was a huge commotion they could hardly restrain. This time it is under control. To cure it at the root will require long-term therapy. Could this be cured? He was shocked. As they spoke, drowsiness rose. Lucy Min closed his eyes and soon slept deeply. She picked up Big Black, tugged Hu Yu and they quietly left the room. Only outside did he dare ask, "What should I do next?" "Stand guard at the door. Let no one enter," she said, taking out a porcelain bottle. "You likely have internal injury from that palm. This is restorative pill. Take 2 at a time." Hearing this he poured 2 into his mouth without hesitation. Almost instantly a warm current flowed through him and the pain at the injured spots eased. "You made this medicine too," he marveled. Its effect surpassed the highest grade salves he had taken. I made it." Seeing that her time accumulated online today was nearing the cap, she found a pretext to send him off and then logged off quietly. Lucy Min could no longer remember how long it had been since he slept truly well, lying in bed with eyelids heavy as lead yet unable to sleep, on top of a bad habit of headaches which, when they struck, wiped out any drowsiness. Tracing back, the last time he slept was at Kin Lake, right? He had accidentally inhaled mesmerizing powder and had an episode. He snapped awake, opened his eyes and found himself in an unfamiliar room, his spirit unprecedentedly full, his clothes unstained by blood. "You have received aid from the player Van Sam. Current personal info as follows. Name, Lucy Min. Stamina, 100 out of 100%. Satiety, 76 out of 100%. Resistance, 68 out of 100%. Overall normalized strength. For stars, he recalled that last time at Kin Lake being rescued by Van Sam raised his resistance to 63, otherwise it hovered below 50 year-round. When resistance hits 0 he would lose control and rage. He had long known Van Sam could help him. He had just not found a good reason to approach and now had met again in an embarrassing state. He opened the door and Hu Yu was instantly alert, then overjoyed. "My lord, you are awake. This time you slept about 1 day and 1 night, Miss Van Sam is truly a divine healer. After I was ambushed and you took me to the Eastern District, what happened?" he asked, for he had no memory of his rages, inferring only from system prompts, reports and traces. Hu Yu chose his words and skipped what was unimportant. "Halfway you suddenly threw me off and went alone to the east. Our people nearby tried to stop you but failed and were injured. Luckily there were few household guards around you so innocents were not harmed. When you saw Miss Van Sam your condition suddenly stabilized, then you drank the brew and soon slept." "What do you mean upon seeing her I stabilized?" He was puzzled. Hu Yugie struggled to explain. At first I thought you would harm the healer and tried to stop you, only to be swatted away. But toward her, you did not attack, instead letting her pull you inside to diagnose and treat you. Lu Seaman pulled up player records and found Van Sam. Stamina 100 out of 100%, satiety 90. 8 out of 100%, overall normalized strength 1 star, talent, interaction force, passive 1, animals feel very close to you on sight, greatly lowering their willingness to attack. 2. You can effectively soothe animals, lowering active aggression and providing effective calming. No wonder, you are awake. Van Sam came to check and greeted him. Fortunate to have your help, healer, Lu Seaman knowingly asked. Last time at Kin Lake, also me, she admitted frankly. Your friend even covered the fee. Friend, a young boy, gathers herbs, good at throwing needles. When I left he said he would stay to watch over you. That was Chu Hong. He had not seen him upon waking. Lu Seaman frowned slightly, then heard her add, after simmering the medicine and before feeding you I drank half a bowl. He looked toward Hu Yugie, who nodded clearly. Do not test poison with your own body again, he said gently. Van Sam's feelings were complicated. The Lu Seaman she had once known was wary of players and would always make her drink half first. Such a person would not say, do not risk yourself. Thinking again, she felt it was even better. While his nature had not yet warped and he did not overguard against players, he would rush to the healer when ill, and persuading him to cooperate would be easier than in the future. I saved the Lord. What is the reward? She asked as if turning in a quest. Points. Equipment or materials? What do you want? It sounded like what of 3, but she did not fall for it. I want land. Where? Near the rental area in the east, preferably close to where I live. Lu Seaman granted her 10 plots. If you cure me, the reward will be richer. This is a stubborn ailment needing long-term treatment, she suggested. Set a time, once a week for follow-ups, and pick up medicine daily. Simmering medicine is small business. Give it to me, said Hu Yugie. Please write the prescription. This is the calming bruise formula, she wrote. I recommend fetching the decoction daily and not cooking it yourself. The healer is busy. We will not trouble you. And before leaving he reminded her, the Lord's mental state is not good. Please keep the treatment confidential. If news spread the residents could panic and no one could predict the disorder. I understand, she agreed. Hong Fong Clinic, head, 83% of inferior purple grass has recovered. According to the new formula, 1 purple grass can steadily produce 9 to 10 jars of purple grass paste. An elder master of superb skill even made 11-inch. The new batch tested is indeed top grade. Its effect far surpasses before. Headman smiled. Issue the orders and proceed as planned. Soon the news Van Sam sold the refined purple grass paste formula to Hong Fong Clinic spread everywhere. They named the batch refined purple grass paste. For a time countless residents flocked to buy. After trying and finding the effect matched the marketplaces, they went even crazier. Some bought 5 jars in one go, some 8. Dayu Shenhal, seeing Hong Fong's roaring business and his own paste selling poorly, had lamb rage till his liver hurt, buying so much to eat with rice or what. Of course people feared shortages and hoarded. Steward Truoing stared at his toes, trying to shrink his presence, but Head Lamb would not spare him. The opponent is Hong Fong. Petty schemes like cutting raw materials cannot hinder them. We must unite other clinics to apply pressure. He was cut off by a guard's urgent report. Hong Fong sent word they have researched a way to treat purple grass mold spots. If we want it, they are willing to supply a despotting reagent at low price. Steward Truoing was speechless. Hong Fong's background was powerful. If they even sold cheap anti-spotting medicine, who would still oppose them? With refined paste on the market, the most affected was Dayu Shenhal. Other clinics were not so pricey and had low output. With a few days they would sell out anyway. If the despotting reagent worked, output would soar and all sales would be pure profit. Who would go against money? Thinking thus his scalp tingled. After a long silence Head Lamb sighed. We cannot match their backing, nor their formula, nor their methods. This time we truly lost. Carving Gold Game Forum. Westlake Water my tears. Have you finished the letter? At Farmyard. Rise up, Farmyard rise up. Thanks for the invite. The one at the hog farm has passed the interview and joined. Once I learn I will return to build a great career in game. I love construction. ? Hold the madman tight. ? Eat drink play. ? Westlake Water my tears. We do not have to compete this hard. Farmyard rise up. Only by combining theory and practice can one truly understand pig raising. The members were struck dumb by such studious spirit. Westlake Water my tears. Heard you sold the purple grass paste formula at Van Sam. Thanks for the ping. With the new formula, one plant yields more paste. To avoid the clinics of the settlement running short every few days, I decided to sacrifice myself for the collective. I love construction, thus what we could never buy before is less scarce now. All things toward money. One move ahead and you win by change. Money-making skills like this are not rare, not impressive. One-night fortune dream. Skills are useless if you cannot cash out. Because of her, clinic spans selling purple grass. Selling the formula to scoop a haul is very profitable, low-key for life. Most important is diverting attention. Being marked by NPCs is bad. Do not ask how I know. The friends chattered amiably again. Van Sam watched, hiding achievements and name, and pocketed 20,000 points from selling the formula. Author's words. Congratulations on becoming a lord. Reward, 1 assassination gift pack. Lucy Min. Do not ask why I hate players, just know I have been trapped too many times. Hu Uva. When the lord raged, divine healer Van still dared to aid. Worthy of respect, Van Sam. There was no danger to life. Hu Uva. From the very start, the hard partying guy's real name was Kang Traekduong. He got coaxed by his good bro Han Jia Khan into Apocalypse Base, but deep down he flatly refused. What kind of name is Apocalypse Base? Sounds anything but grand, and a so-called full-body shrink virtual game sounded made up. A trap. He kept grinding the market's current smash hit online title and could not be bothered to give Apocalypse Base a glance. Until, heads up to my crew, gym session kicking off, 5 make a group, 10% off, anyone in? He had never heard of people working out for a game, saw folks forming up and was stunned, even more speechless when within a blink 4 signed up. 3 more missed the slot and spun up another group. Others trained martial arts, learned swordplay, practiced with blades, crammed every spare minute, and there were even guildmates going to a pig farm to experience life and study proper husbandry. What kind of game was Apocalypse Base that everyone seemed deranged? A spark of curiosity rose. So he casually asked Han Jia Khan how it differed from other full-dive online games, and got, you can chop wood, mine or farm and run errands, or build a career from nothing and savor the joy of starting up, or form a party to hunt in the wilds and feel how thrilling it is to be chased by high-tier mobs, which made him think this sounded anything but upright. His whole being resisted, yet the teen addicts in the chat would not stop. Apocalypse Base got spammed 100 times a day and was impossible to ignore. Finally the registration code day arrived. He could not hold back and snagged one. He wanted to see how good it was and why people were obsessed. Paperwork done, Van Sam hopped into being a little landowner with 16 plots. Then after designing, tweaking, and replanning, the manor took shape. Bamboo huts leaned together in neat rows, fields and garden beds stretched on and on. Extra open ground became a yard for Big Black to sprint and play. The huts were meant to be dismantled, but the house-building NPC used a special technique to level and shift whole rooms, so she skipped the hassle and just moved them. Once the makeover was done, she set time aside to make snacks for Big Black: fragrant beef stew, savory chicken meat slices, and chewy pigskin taffy that was extra fun to bite. Swaddled in deliciousness, Big Black rolled about in bliss, and this time it did not hide its beloved treats. Harsh reality had taught it that food belongs to you only once it is in your belly. Stored away it might be taken, so as soon as something hit its paws it cut loose and ate until its belly turned round. Van Sam used the chance to check its condition, smiled. Recovery is good, the old injuries are healed and your spirits are steadier. Seeing the sky still early, she called Big Black to go walk together. The streets bustled, fresh spring rolls with peanuts, just made. Sweet cakes, soft and sweet, tasty, and not pricey. Glutinous rice cakes wrapped around fried crullers, black sesame pound cakes, sticky rice pound cakes. Come take a look. Van Sam could plainly feel the food trade booming, varieties dazzling the eyes. Take spring rolls, same roll, many fillings, duck with savory crunch, pork with pickled cabbage, sweet red bean mash, sweet peanut, and each had its own flavor. The sweet cakes could be cut small and fried, steamed soft, or eaten cold, each method a different taste. The glutinous rice cake wrapped around a fried cruller had toasted sesame outside, glutinous rice in the middle, soft yet not sticky, and a freshly fried cruller inside, crisp to the bite, 3 layers as one chomp, and the taste was uniquely satisfying. There were also black sesame pound cakes and sticky rice pound cakes, toasted sesame ground and mixed with white sugar, folded into the rice to make a sweet, fragrant snack that was tender and pleasantly chewy. After eating duck and red bean spring rolls, she turned to buy sweet cakes for frying. Then the rice cake wrapped crullers and sticky rice pound cakes. Even though the interface showed stamina, 87 out of 100% in fullness, full to 100 out of 100, she did not stop eating, sighing. Full dive online games are wonderful. Taste the food, never feel painfully stuffed, and no worrying about gaining weight. Beside her, Big Black gnawed a pork and cabbage roll until it was so tight-bellied it could barely walk. In the mission hall there were many new faces. gray named over their heads, wearing morning cloth shirts, coarse trousers, straw shoes, some clustered at the notice board, some head down in thought, the differences of class and trade plain to see. Van Sam stepped up to read. On the left, the hiring bulletin had lots of new posts: farmer at Hong Fong Farm, work, land clearing, planting, field care, pay, 3 credits an hour, settled daily, contact, go to Hong Fong Farm and find NPC. Captain Hatch, apprentice at Hong Fong Piggery, work, raise and care for black patterned pigs, pay, 4 credits an hour, settled weekly, requirement, patience and friendliness, experience preferred, contact, go to Hong Fong Piggery and find NPC Madam Ho. Van Sam thought it a pity, the guildmates had not even finished training, yet the NPCs had opened a piggery. Had they moved one step earlier and made it happen first, why worry about not making money? Looking right, the bounty board was also full, seeking to purchase violet grass, quantity unlimited, bounty 4 credits per stock, requirement, good grade, buying black patterned pigs in bulk, quantity unlimited, bounty from 1 to 500 credits each depending on breed, grade, and weight, requirement, alive and disease-free, seeking black gold or rough, 20 pieces, bounty 10 credits per piece, no other requirements. Now this feels like a real online world. Van Sam walked a circuit, got a handle on the game's progress, then left with Big Black. After treatment, Luke Min enjoyed 2 easy days and the headaches returned. Where's the medicine, has it been decocted? Totten asked. Coming. Hugh Nia brought the fresh bowl. Careful, it's hot, my lord. The calming broth was still a pale green, clear to the bottom without any speck. Luke Min sipped, said nothing, brow tightening hard. What's wrong? Hugh Nia was baffled. Totten sensed something. Who decocted this bowl? I did, Hugh Nia answered honestly. You were sure every step was correct? Of course, how could I be careless with the Lord's medicine? Totten frowned. Could the lady physician's prescription be at fault? The prescription is fine. Luke Min set down the bowl. The taste is exactly the same as before. Then why is the condition not improving? And these past days you were sleepless again. Luke Min rubbed his brow. The calming broth eases the symptoms, but the effect is faint. Yet at the lady physician's, you clearly slept long after drinking. Hugh Nia could not understand how the same medicine worked so differently. Luke Min understood. She decocted it herself. Van Sam said we should collect the medicine daily and not self-decoct. An awakened ability likely gives an extra bonus. Hugh Nia was speechless. Totten, who had heard the whole saga of the Lord's illness, was exasperated. The doctor asked you to pick it up every day. Why are you making it yourself? I did not want to trouble her, said Hugh Nia. Enough, prepare a few rare herbs and take them over yourself. Say we will fetch medicine hereafter, Luke Min instructed. So when Van Sam came back from her walk, Hugh Nia was waiting at the door for who knows how long. Why are you here? She asked, though she knew. He gave a wry smile and presented a jade-inlaid box. Such refined decocting is beyond common hands. I beg the divine physician's extra care. Van Sam did not make it difficult. Only said, remember to follow the doctor's instructions. Upon logging in, Kang Trekduong first marveled at the realism and high-standard environment modeling, then joined a newbie party to hunt. They had not even seen a little mob when a powerful wing slap smacked the back of his head, stars burst in his eyes and he plopped down. Focusing, he found the ambusher was a 2-star red-bellied junglefowl. Brothers, all in. Calves newborn fear no tiger. The newbies ringed the bird, hoping a human wave would do. They had just entered, knew no basics, and not even that they had only one life. On death they would not respawn at a camp, it would be consumed outright. The red belly's eyes flashed viciously, each peck a white streak, and in moments the scene flipped from surrounded by players to actively chasing players. Help! Help! One poorly named player had barely cried out before vanishing the next instant. Gooseflesh crawled all over Kang Trekduong. At last he understood why the guild rushed to sign up for gym and martial arts. In a situation like this, without some real ability you could not tank anything, and even escaping goes faster with a trained body. Stop chasing me. He watched another player panic and sprint the wrong way out of camp while the red belly barreled after him. Kang Trekduong braced a hand, quietly got up, and bolted back. The wilds were too dangerous. Let whoever liked it stay. He would not. The hunt failed, but he still needed credits, so he went to the mission hall to pick up day labor, only to find vegetable chopping required knife work basics and stamina of at least a full 100, paid weekly. Herb farmer needed pharmacology basics and experience, paid weekly. Apprentice required piggery experience, paid weekly. After reading all the postings, only 2 gigs were open to him, woodcutter or farmer, and only these paid daily. After struggling so hard to grab a code, was it just to be a grunt, or should he drop the game? The thought kept surfacing. but remembering being bullied by a mere chicken, he ground his teeth. If he did not level up and pay it back, the resentment would not go down. After a moment's hesitation, he chose to be a farmer, opening up wasteland, clearing wild ground and turning it into fields. His job was to trim and prepare the soil to be fit for planting. Truth be told, planting and tending would also work, but as a pampered second-gen rich kid, he had never done farm work and could not grow crops, so he could only throw himself into land clearing. After 4 solid hours he was kicked from the game. Accumulated online time today, 4 hours, maximum reached. For your health, no further logins today. Please balance work and rest and play in moderation. 1 hour struggling in the wilds and 3 hours manual labor left him so out of breath he cursed upon logging out. At that moment, only one thought remained. What kind of blasted game makes people addicted? Do those guildmates have a streak of self-punishment or what? There was one thing Kong Jiang had to admit: Doomsday Base was terrifyingly realistic, so real that the rumbling of his hungry stomach felt too vivid, so real that after 3 hours of survival mode he felt as if his body were falling apart. Taking off the VR helmet, he firmly decided to quit the game. No more grinding, no more maps. He'd lost interest. Thinking so, he lay on the bed and drifted off. Early the next morning, he got up, washed his face, and when he looked in the mirror, he froze. The receding hairline that had been creeping backward for years now had a faint new fuzz growing. Kong Jiang stared in disbelief, moving closer, back and forth, until finally he trusted his eyes. A game that prevents baldness, he muttered, astonished. Youth never knows the value of hair until it's gone. Not yet 30, he had struggled with hair loss for years, mostly because of his gaming obsession, irregular schedule, and late-night marathons until 1 or 2 in the morning. At 20 he didn't notice, but nearing 30, when the hairline retreated like a tide, he realized every indulgence has its price. Since then he'd started caring for his health and no longer gamed as crazily as before. When friends teased him at gatherings, saying "You've got perseverance," he'd sigh, "My hairline doesn't," earning roars of laughter while he stood speechless. Examining himself in the mirror, he saw a faint bluish fuzz sprouting among the black hair, rough to the touch. He immediately vowed that if he could save his youthful hair, he'd spend the rest of his life in the game, playing till the end of time. In the gold farming chat group, come quick. Gym session open, 5-man team, 9% cut, who's in? Eat, drink, play, count me. Westlake Tears? Gold Miner? Rich and Reckless, Han Jiaxian? Rich and Reckless, weren't you quitting Doomsday Base? I love building, someone's hacking accounts, everyone secure your passwords. Eat, drink, play, I grabbed a registration code, tested the game. It's actually decent, nice way to kill time. Rich and Reckless, men. Westlake Tears, late but loyal, I'll never skip, deep.jpg. Eat, drink, play, alright, 1000 points for sale, 1 point equals 100 credits, act fast. Rich and Reckless, you dog. Originally Han Jiaxian was the only one selling points, now other big spenders joined. Competition soared. Annoyed at losing customers, he messaged privately, "Want anything lately? Say it, my treat. Save a brother first, let me buy those points quick. Thanks for pulling me into the game, can't thank you enough, call anytime you need me." Kong Jiang sent 3 quick messages, expressing apology, gratitude, loyalty, and boldness all at once. Han Jiaxian replied, "Forget dinner, I'm setting up a guild, come help?" "So I pay for points, then spend them building your guild?" "Our guild," Han corrected, "I'm guild master, your deputy. We'll build the #1 guild with money and power." Sounded inspiring. After all, his goal was to play till the servers shut down, so why not have a guild? Besides, if he met that red-belly chicken boss again, at least he'd have people to get revenge with. So he said decisively, "Deal." The group stayed lively, now with a new topic. "Make way, my Doomsday Base character died, account deleted." "Okay, fine, but, you mean you can't register twice?" "Who told me it was unlimited?" "At liar dog here, believe me you're a pig," smiles and waves. Make way, are you kidding me? Sick bastard. "Liar dog, you stole my boss in Sky Wrath, looted my corpse, killed my teammate, and you're mad at me? Liar dog, karma, brat, pay your dues." Then he blocked and quit the group. Make way, Everyone could feel his meltdown through the screen, seeing Doomsday Base rising in popularity yet having no account. He could only watch business slip away. Make way, if I'd known each player only gets one registration, I wouldn't have assassinated the leader. Wanted to be a ticket tycoon, rule the market, bright future. Thought bad reputation could reset, no big deal. Result? Boom, all gone. When Sean happened to glance over, narrowing her eyes, when Sean code words, love potion, soft bone powder? Make way, that's me, just a little more and I'd have succeeded. A little? More like 100 miles. Next moment, the admin when Sean kicked Make way from the group. Silence. No one expected her to act so decisively, even considering logging into Sky Wrath to hunt him down, but she cooled off and soon posted again. When Sean, Doomsday base, 30 bottles of gold wound potion for sale, heals external injuries, 10 bottles of rejuvenation pill for internal wounds, points only, DM if interested. Healing potions. Hearts raced, in-game shops sold limited potions, 1 gold wound per week per player, and no one had ever heard of rejuvenation pills. As soon as she posted, the chat exploded with buyers. Makeway was instantly forgotten, some even muttered, he killed players at random, deserved the boot, then moved on. Private messages flooded, but when Sean ignored them, calmly browsing buyers, she had many chat groups, but only the gold farming chat was her own creation, meant to connect reliable sponsors with skilled high-level players for trade, but friends kept inviting friends, and before long it grew to hundreds. Though she really knew only a few dozen frequent traders, she didn't care to manage much, just offered a high-class room for chatter, occasionally popped up to trade, mostly staying hidden, rarely using admin rights. Today, though, reading Makeway's chat log somehow set her off. For the first time she used her admin power to kick someone, in a game world where morals sink so low. Why should I show restraint, she thought, regaining composure and looking for new clients. My lord, here's today's freshly brewed medicine, Yui presented. Lu Ming took it, sipped, his eyes relaxing. Same formula? Xuexian asked cautiously. Ingredients brought by me. I watched the whole process, steps matched exactly. Yui swore, if the effect differs, it's due to differing talents. Xuexian fell silent. The headache clearly eased, strong medicine indeed. Lu Ming's face softened. Is Lulu around? Send her to guard the healer. My lord. Xuexian startled. Lulu was a 3-star expert, recently mastering a 3-star Demon Vine Bao, one of the top fighters in Hongfeng base. That healer's skill is superb, but her origin unknown. We should observe longer. Confirm she bears no ill will before. When Sean is not like the others, Lu Ming interrupted lazily, waving a hand. Decision made, go. Rest well, my lord, we'll guard the door, Yui said, dragging Xuexian out. Lu Ming lay back, closed his eyes, and soon drifted into dreams. Outside, Xuexian leaned on the wall, lips pressed tight. Yui frowned. You never reacted this strong before, why so wary now? My lord trusts that healer too much, not good, Xuexian said lowly. 1 success out of 100 assassinations was enough to doom the lord forever. Human hearts are unpredictable. That divine doctor seems harmless, surely won't hurt him, Yui argued. How long have you known her to be so sure? You didn't see my lord when the illness struck. If you had, you wouldn't doubt. Xuexian paused, eyes narrowing. You were alone with him then, hiding something? Yui looked up. Hide? Impossible, just that some small details sound too strange to describe. Like? Yui glanced around, whispered. The healer told him not to hit anyone, and he didn't, obedient as a lamb. Xuexian froze. He hugged the healer once and the symptoms eased instantly. Don't joke. Xuexian snapped coldly. The lord treats you well, how dare you spread nonsense? Yui shut his mouth, knew it, mention it, and he'd blow his top like an angry guard dog. That's why he hadn't told the whole story. Although she found him utterly rotten and saw no need to make things hard on purpose, out of some mysterious impulse Van Sam still contacted Cheat Me I'm a Dog, planning to sell him the account Heaven's Wrath. The other party first suspected a trap, since her asking price was below market and there were clearly better options. No reason to pick her at all. Cheat Me I'm a Dog. Why? Van Sam, move aside, let me do it, annoyed me, so making him unhappy pleases me. The other side instantly understood. Cheat Me I'm a Dog. I'm about to start a hunt for that bastard, kill him till he gives up if I can, or at least knock him down 20 ranks, just to teach him not everyone is easy to bully. Cheat me I'm a dog, don't thank me, call it even. Van Sam, account's yours, handle it as you wish. After that both were satisfied, Van Sam put on her VR helmet and logged in again. In the kitchen, she minced fish bones, meat, and skin, mixed in spices, rolled the paste into small balls, and fried them golden. Fragrance filled the air. Big Black paced by the door, drooling, wishing he could eat that very second. Even far away, Luke, who secretly guarded her, couldn't help inhaling deeply. That smells amazing. Having just eaten, she suddenly felt hungry again. When the fish balls cooled, Van Sam picked one up and fed it to Big Black. Try it. Big Black gulped it down impatiently. Heavenly aroma, crispy, delicious. His eyes sparkled as he tilted his head playfully, clearly wanting more. Good, right? If a monster next door smelled this, it'd cry with envy, Van Sam joked, offering another ball. After the apocalypse, beasts' bodies had become far stronger than before. Even food humans couldn't eat, they could. Knowing this, she had made the fish balls precisely as a snack for Big Black. Luke, with keen senses, thought silently, there's no neighbor or beast next door, but that smell truly tempts me. Here, have another, Van Sam said, but before she could feed it, a white bird swooped by and snatched it. Big Black bit at empty air. Confused, Van Sam looked up to see a white bird, wings speckled brown, strong and wide, clearly not easy prey. The blue name above its head showed its overall power at 3 stars. As she thought that, the thief bird gulped the ball down and dove again, aiming for the wooden bowl. Coming again? Big Black roared, leapt, and snapped his jaws, but the bird twisted midair and dodged swiftly, then aimed straight at Van Sam. Just then, a vine shot out and bounded tightly. A black-named female NPC, Luke, appeared, shielding Van Sam behind her. You okay? Surprised, Van Sam asked herself. Luke? How is she here? The name suited her perfectly. When she fought, she was pure 666, wrecking the field whenever she moved. She always took high-risk, high-skill jobs ordinary people couldn't do. In her past life, Luke Min had once assigned Luke to be Van Sam's bodyguard, so she knew well how fierce this girl was. Don't ask why he'd already shared his medicine with her and still sent a top guard. Answer: he was crazy, twisted. Besides, wasn't this the same girl who hated the sick man's stubborn temper, yet still ransacked his medical books, tweaking formulas, desperate to cure him? The past drifted like clouds, yet the memories were vivid enough to daze Van Sam. Seeing her charge silent too long, Luke's aura turned sharp. Are you hurt? No, Van Sam came to, just robbed. Good then, Luke's face eased. While they talked, the white bird tore free and flapped off. Luke's eyes turned cold. She snapped the vine like a whip. Crack, it struck the bird, scattering feathers. The bird screeched and staggered away. Even inside the camp, stay alert, Luke warned. Understood, Van Sam knew. In a world this cruel, a moment's carelessness meant death. Absolute safety had never existed. Having wealth without strength to match only invited disaster. That's why she'd been raising Big Black carefully, hoping he'd evolve soon. But before that happened, trouble found them. Just now it only stole food, yet who could say it wouldn't grow violent later, whether from obsession or greed. It might break free of her gift's influence. As long as you're fine, I'll go, Luke said after rescuing her. Luke Min sent you? Van Sam suddenly asked. Luke froze. She hadn't said a word. Since you're here, stay for dinner, Van Sam continued before she could reply. Luke's face stayed cold. Secret protection was a job. She never got involved with her targets, yet her mouth had its own will. Fine. At the edge between the wilds and the camp, Han Jiakan, Kang Jiduan, and others gathered. Han Jiakan began. Medicine secured. 20 bottles of wound salve, 10 bottles of recovery pills, all crafted by Van Sam. Kang Jiduan turned. You're here too, Wu Feng and Gu said casually. I thought about it, playing VR, you need real strength. Killing monsters is dangerous, but if you can survive, there's nothing left to fear. What, daily gym? Martial arts hobby class? Marathon training? Kang Jiduan almost blurted out. Feng Yinga's top tier, Han Jiakan praised. I bought a ton of points, most came from him. Just lucky, Feng Yingu replied. How long since you joined? Kang Jiduan eyed him. That gear isn't cheap, how do you still have spare points to sell? Not long, happened to get a chance, he said shortly. Sure, a chance, Kang Jiduan muttered, unable to imagine what fortune existed in this broken game. But since the other wouldn't talk, he dropped it. Everyone here? Then let's move. I studied the nearby map, Han Jiakan said seriously, found a good spot, mostly gray named level 1 monsters, a few white named level 2s, never saw a blue named level 3, perfect for new players to level up. Talk if you must, but don't jinx us, Kang Jiduan joked. It sounded like the blue one was waiting for them to arrive. Han Jiakan choked, then added, it's close to camp, if anything happens, we can run back. NPC guards stand at the gates and kill any monster approaching. Near the pine forest? Feng Yingu asked. You've heard? I soloed there a few times, not bad, he said, with 2 endorsements. Kang Jiduong nodded. Alright then, group set off. As said, the forest was only 5 minutes walk. Upon arrival, soon a gray-named tiger-skin rabbit hopped out. Perfect warm-up. Go! They swung wooden clubs boldly. One man got careless and was rammed hard by the rabbit. 6 people versus a low-level gray monster. Within minutes, it was badly hurt and fell. Hunting's not that hard. The vanguard cheered, others excited. Seeing one injured, Han Jiakan took out a recovery pill. The player waved off, not bad enough to waste it. It's fine, I'm rich. Want to see how effective it is? Han Jiakan grinned. The injured player sighed. Pill down the throat, pain vanished instantly. He exclaimed sincerely, works great. He hadn't compared it with others but described his true feeling. Got hit earlier, no wound outside yet pain inside, guess that's internal injury. Took the pill, pain gone at once. Han Jiakan then drew a knife and slashed his palm. Pain sharp and real, he hissed, then sprinkled wound powder. As it touched skin, the cut visibly scabbed and closed fast. Soon back to normal, Feng Yingu said firmly. The NPC shop's powder isn't this good. Everyone sighed in relief. So even without a healer we won't die too quick. While talking, a gray-named red-bellied pheasant appeared. Kang Jiduong perked up. Hit it, 2 hours later. With moss wolves, red-bellied pheasants, white egrets, tiger skin. Rabbits, the hunting team returned victorious. Selling prey to the NPC shop earned 246 points, split evenly, about 20.5 points per hour, much better than wage work. They marveled, finally feels like a real game. Working's useless, grinding's the way. Wanna farm another round later? My treat. Sure, cheers rose while Kang Jiduong only thought, killed so many small mobs yet no skill book drop, what now? Can learn at the training field, Han Jiakan said. They teach battle skills there. Charge by the hour, learn fast, pay less, learn slow, pay more. Result depends on player's comprehension, no guaranteed mastery. Kang Jiduong was speechless again, feeling for the nth time that a game this realistic was no blessing. The threshold for skill was just too high. Fried fish bone balls turned fragrant and crisp. Lucy ate one bite at a time and the bowl bottom emptied quickly. Seeing that, Van Sam made fish balls again. Minced fish was shaped into spheres, dropped into boiling water, seasoned and simmered to finish. Unlike the fish bone balls, the fish balls were snow white, slick and tender with good spring. Even the soup with fish balls was very fresh. Lucy ate another bowl and only then set her bowl down satisfied, remembering business. She said coolly, what you met just now was a 3-star beast. You were lucky, I happened to pass by and saved you on the way. Van Sam thought you can spout whatever, I will pretend to believe. Everyone knows the score and keeps quiet, thanks. Van Sam changed the topic. Do you have a place to stay yet? If not, do you want to live at the manor? There are many empty rooms. Lucy, you are not acting normal. But could she refuse? She could not. Frowning to think, she said after a moment. If convenient, I would like to stay here for a while. Settled then, Van Sam decided. Pick any empty room you like, anyone is fine. Is she really that careless? Using a life-saving favor as a pretext to let a bad actor cling is rare yet not unheard of. Lucy was about to caution her when she heard, right, do you know any farm folks, good at growing, willing to lease land, split 30-70, the kind who are honest and do their part? The topic jumped so fast it left one no time to react. Lucy felt something was off. This did not feel like the attitude toward a savior, rather like she herself owed a favor and was finding ways to return it. No, her voice was cold. Who knew? There should be. Think again. Van Sam looked expectant. Help me this time and I will treat you to good food. Lucy, I will ask around. She stiffly corrected herself. Say ask, and yet in under 2 days she brought back 3.5 strapping lads. One is 14, 2 are 15, strong and used to farm work. Lucy said, give them lodging, take 3 parts of 10 each harvest as rent. The rest you need not worry, they will manage themselves. The Hong Fong camp's soil was rich, 3 harvests a year, so 3 in 10 was not little. Later it became 4 harvests a year and his tools improved more and more. Those 3 parts were enough for them to live well. It was like old-time tenant farming, living by cultivating the landlord's land, also like medieval European peasants and manor lords. Thanks, Van Sam had long prepared tools and seed and immediately had the 3 try their hands, loosening soil, digging holes, watering. The movements were practiced, obviously long used to fieldwork. Very satisfied, she led Lucy to the kitchen. Mapo tofu and special beef with shiitake and bean paste just finished. Help me thank him. Who was he? She knew nothing. Lucy kept a cold face, hugging the wooden lunchbox like this all belongs to me. After several nights of sound sleep, Lu Simin's color improved greatly and even the blue rings at his eyes lightened. That day he ate half a bowl and gestured the attendant to clear the dishes. Hu Yugie saw 2 stir-fries and 1 soup barely touched and advised, "My lord, please eat a bit more." No, Lu Simin's expression was indifferent as if by habit. The insomnia was slowly easing, yet the bad habit of no appetite remained. Hu Yugie sighed and cleared the table. Just then Lucy. "Requested audience, let her in," said Lu Simin. "My lord." Lucy presented the box. "This is a thank you gift from the lady doctor." Lu Simin glanced at Hu Yugie, who understood and quickly opened it. At once a hot spicy aroma rushed forth, mouth-watering. Inside on the left was mapo tofu, tender white tofu covered by a red chili oil layer, sauce mixed just right. On the right beef with shiitake and thick paste. The mushroom fragrance was rich and moved one's fingers. Suddenly hungry, Lu Simin said, "Bring another bowl of rice, huh?" Hu Yugie blinked then reacted. Knowing the lord wanted to eat, he ran out excited. "I am going now." The mapo tofu was spicy and silky, the beef with shiitake savory and appetizing. Bite after bite was good. With just those dishes Lu Simin ate 3 bowls of rice. Hu Yugie rejoiced. "My lord is eating well today indeed." Lu Simin felt comfortable all over and his mood uncommonly calm. "Where did this come from?" "She cooked it," said Lucy. "Next time when we pick up the medicine, if convenient, pick up food too," suggested Hu Yugie. "This is a thank you gift." Lucy's face stayed cool. "A thank you gift is given for something worthy of thanks and is only once." Hu Yugie disagreed. "These dishes cure no appetite. Clearly medicinal food. A doctor compounding to save people is only right." Lucy did not bother to argue. "The things are delivered. If nothing else I will take my leave." "Wait." Ta Tin stopped her and asked on purpose, "These days with her, did you notice any behavior strange?" Lucy corrected. "Not somewhere strange but everywhere." Ta Tin tensed. "How so?" Lucy gave examples. "She tells me when she will be at home, says farewell before leaving, invites me to every meal, cooks well, and does farm work skillfully." Ta Tin, after the tenants were recruited. "Before I said anything she handed me the lunchbox." Lucy said gravely, "From her I cannot feel any malice. As long as she can cure the illness, ignore the rest." Lu Simin gave Ta Tin a look. "Right," thought Ta Tin, "if the lady doctor has no ill will he naturally will not do anything. It is just that he cannot trust travelers from other worlds and is by nature more guarded." The manor had 16 plots in all. The new tenants took one with 6 plots and 2 with 5 plots, in charge of sowing sorghum, corn, potatoes, and other crops. After setting the rent contract, Van Sam took the 3 to build bamboo huts and let them choose where to live. Once they were used to the place, she truly let go, leaving them to plant and carry, while she let Big Black out to buy provisions, a bag of sorghum and a bag of corn to store his food, at the butcher 2 caddies of pork, at the produce shop Chinese cabbages to make dumplings. She also went to Hong Fong Clinic for wound salve and ingredients to make restoration pills. Herbs can be homegrown but to raise them at scale costs effort, and from sowing to usability takes long, too lazy to waste the effort. She bought direct at the pharmacy. Shopping done, she hurried home laden like a pack beast. Halfway the system reminded, "Congratulations on Star Up." Opening the attributes page showed, name, Van Sam, stamina, 87 on 100%, satiety, 85 on 100%, composite strength rating, 2-star, the player ID turned from gray to white. Her hands still carried a lot but they felt much lighter, 2-star, in other games with courage and skill crafting. One can make an all-round character and high combat power is not a dream, but in Apocalypse Base how far you go largely rests on talent. Like Van Sam, despite heart and effort she is a support type, do not speak of 2-star, even at 3-star she would not beat a 1-star combat type in a straight fight, so she can only take a shortcut and raise a herd of beasts to fight in groups. With 2-star the playtime should add 1 more hour. That is good, she thought. Fields nearby were being tilled. The new tenants were diligent with heads down. In the kitchen smoke curled and food smelled rustic. Big Black sat watching the door waiting to eat. Lucy guarded in secret, not making it obvious, so she shut her door and acted indifferent while actually keeping track of movements outside. Van Sam wrapped dumplings with pork and cabbage. After cooking she ladled a bowl to bring to Lucy. A white shadow streaked by at startling speed. The white bandit stoat. "Big Black, why you again?" It barked in a wary flurry. The noise alarmed Lucy, who dashed out with a face like cold frost. At the same time Van Sam saw the stoat with a tiger hair in its mouth already dead. It let the pelt drop and nudged it toward her to curry favor. Unlike its domineering first meeting, quick-witted Van Sam said, "Trade." Before the stoat could answer, Lucy appeared. Seeing a person the stoat panicked and fled, so flustered it left the tiger hair pelt behind. Are you hurt? Lucy strode over. Van Sam shook her head. No, the stoat again. Lucy's eyes cooled. It did not mean to ambush, it was just greedy and came to barter for food, explained Van Sam. Lucy was slightly surprised. That pelt was its gift. Van Sam pointed at the ground. Lucy did not lower her guard. The world is unsafe. Caution first, logging out, the system. Arrived on time. Today accumulated online time, 5 hours. Cap reached body check shows your state is good from tomorrow. Daily online time plus 1 hour to a total of 6 hours. Please balance work and rest and play in moderation. Starting over is much faster than the first run. Van Sam was glad. In her first cycle she lacked experience, sometimes cutting wood, sometimes opening fields, sometimes tending the herb garden, even trying to lead beasts with a wild hunt squad. Toil. After bitter toil to scrape together the next bit of progress, that hardship she never wants to repeat. Next day online she had barely appeared when Lucy brought 1 big 4 small, 5 white stoats to ask. There are a few white stoats here, do you want them? Van Sam, do not think because they look alike I cannot recognize the one from yesterday. Where did they come from? The stoat showed up again and again. I guess there is a den nearby, with small bodies and quick speed. They flit all over the camp. Last night I went out to sweep away the hidden dangers and luckily did not fail the charge. Van Sam thought not for nothing is she Lucy the sixth, truly 666. This adult stoat used to be a resident's battle pet. After the owner died it returned to the wild. Unlike other beasts it is not so vicious and is rather mild. I hear when helped by residents it even brings prey to thank them. Finally Lucy said, if you like you can keep it at home. Van Sam was taken aback. Then why did it do that before? For the young. Lucy looked at the kits. These little stoats are picky and refuse to eat, all thin. If they are malnourished long term they will die young. No wonder. Van Sam understood. She had been annoyed at a beast snatching her things but it was for its children. Now it made sense. The adult stoat was a human battle pet, gentle and will not harm people. The little ones are young and with some effort can be raised well. With luck a kit may even be willing to form a pact. Lucy pushed the 5 stoats toward Van Sam. Take them, raising them is no loss. Give them to me. Van Sam stroked their heads and coaxed. From now on be good and I will raise you. The mother is 3-star and the kit's 2-star. Trained well they will be a great help. The mother stoat felt complicated, willing to move home while grieving over her young. Fortunately the new owner cooks well so perhaps the kits will eat. Thinking that, she felt the move was not bad and grew friendlier to Van Sam. If you do not like it do not force yourself, I can place them elsewhere. Seeing Van Sam's odd look Lucy added. Van Sam shook her head. It is not dislike, she only felt the style of gift giving was extremely like a certain someone. The 4 white-crested hatchlings had little heads and scrawny bodies, the very picture of poor nutrition. To help nurse them back to health, Van Sam deliberately cooked egg custard, silky and quivering, softly fragrant and tender to the spoon, a sight that stirred appetite. She scooped a small spoonful and held it before the leftmost chick, which blinked and stepped up without rushing to bite, first sniffed the aroma, and when it found the scent agreeable it tried a tentative taste. The spoon was small so that mouthful emptied it. The more it savored the brighter its eyes shone until the whole brood perked up. Van Sam scooped again to feed the second. Try it. Perhaps seeing his sibling eat so freely made the second curious. He waddled up and all gulped the custard in one go, and as he ate his gaze began chasing the spoon because it was truly delicious. Your turn. Van Sam fed the third. The spoon had only just reached when the third barely opened his beak and the fourth shouldered in to snatch it, leaving the third dumbfounded. Usually when the white-crested mother fetched food she chewed it into a paste before feeding the young. In its short bird life it had only seen mother feeding while the brothers were cold and no one wanted to eat. It had never witnessed siblings turning on one another, scrambling and seizing so cruelly, let alone understood there was such a thing as plastic brotherhood in this world. Why are you dazed? Van Sam offered another spoon. The third with a particularly blank look finally spaced out and finished his rightful spoonful. Good, so good. After one taste his eyes went perfectly round and his face filled with disbelief. Once each of the 4 had been fed once, the leftmost first chick could not help flapping his little wings as if to say, my turn now. Right, Van Sam had meant to feed another round, but the instant the spoon went out, the second and the fourth darted in together. One pressed the spoon trying to drag it aside, the other was more direct, sticking his beak right to the spoon and swallowing the custard at once. Then, as if nothing had happened, he looked at Van Sam waiting for the next feeding, while the other 2 stood there shocked, so they would have to fight to get food. What a harsh world. With the intention of training the hatchlings' reactions, Van Sam did not stop their tussle. The spoon flicked left then right, up then down, unpredictable and teasing, sometimes to get a Mouthful one had to flap hard and hop into the air. Shortly, the fourth had eaten himself round-bellied and lay too lazy to move. The first and the second were perhaps 9/10 full and now huddled together, lids drooping for a nap. Only the third, just half full, was still struggling with the spoon, and whenever Van Sam lifted it a little higher he could not reach. He gazed longingly at the custard, but even on tiptoe he could not touch it. He beat his wings and still failed to get airborne. Working himself into a fret, seeing this, Van Sam quietly let down the water, lowering the height a bit more, until the chick could finally reach and barely eat his fill. Meal done, he plopped onto the ground on his haunches, too tired to budge. The exercise felt as if he had just run several laps. Keep training and you will grow well. Van Sam pressed down the silly tuft on his head and smiled encouragement. The chick tilted his head, rubbed her fingertip, and let out a very soft pie, half a coaxing whine and half a promise. Time slipped by in a blink. On the recheck day, Luke Min brought Hugh Nia right on time. Hugh Nia praised without end. Lately our Lord sleeps much better, the head barely aches, the appetite is good, he can finish a bowl of rice each day. Miss Van Sam, you truly deserve to be called divine healer. In Hong Fong camp your art is second to none. Van Sam was taken aback and asked Luke Min, these days how many hours does he sleep each day? 3 to 4 hours, at best. Van Sam looked speechlessly at Hugh Nia. Much better. He gazed at the sky. Compared to before, it is really not bad, so she instructed, remember the calming decoction daily, keep nutrition balanced, maintain a tranquil mindset, and at each weekly review take a medicinal bath. After a month I will adjust the prescription according to the situation. Hugh Nia asked shyly, divine healer, do you have medicinal dishes, the kind that whet the appetite? I do. Then when I fetch the daily medicine may I conveniently take a bit? You may. He had not expected her to be so easygoing and immediately bowed in thanks. A wolf dog is fed by hand, for white cresteds are fed by hand. At a 4-star invalid and it is still fine. From the start she knew medicine plus food therapy worked best. She had not proposed it first because non-player folk tend to be wary. If she proposed it they would hesitate. If they asked then the matter was simple. As ever, gaining an NPC's trust is harder than curing the ailment. Anything else next? If not I will pack the bath herbs. The soak will take about 1 hour, nothing else. Divine healer please proceed. Van Sam took common herbs from the cabinet, weighed a proper amount, sliced, ground, powdered, then mixed many ingredients into a large cloth sachet. While she worked, Hugh Nia was sent to boil water, not knowing how much. He followed the creed of more is better and cooked several tubs. When the water rolled he poured it into a wooden barrel and steeped the bag. Soon the water turned dark brown and a dense medicinal scent spread. Van Sam gestured, go in and soak for 1 hour, not more, not less. What if more? What if less? Too long and the body cannot bear it, too short and the medicine will not be absorbed. Hugh Nia thought the decoction good and wanted a longer soak to hurry recovery. Van Sam said nothing and simply looked. He faltered and fell silent, suddenly recalling when he had insisted on brewing medicine himself, wasting effort and making his lord suffer. I said already, next time heed the doctor. Her voice was gentle yet it made him shiver. Listen to the doctor, Luke Min echoed. It is my fault. I came up with that idea. Step outside, said Van Sam as she led the way out of the bamboo hut. My lord. Hugh Nia did not want to go out. I will call if needed, Luke Min ordered. Hugh Nia followed. Luke Min removed his robes and lowered himself into the barrel. The instant he touched the water he let out a muffled cry. A burning ache flared from every part of his body. He clenched his teeth and endured without a word. Gradually a warm current coursed through him and the discomfort ebbed. Later the brown broth paled, sweat beaded his brow, hidden injuries seemed to find a cure, and his whole person felt an ease never before known. Outside, Van Sam chatted idly with Hugh Nia. Shall I prepare medicinal dishes for him? Does he avoid anything? Our Lord is not picky, eats anything, no taboos, anything he especially likes? Hugh Nia opened his mouth and found no words, and Van Sam quietly judged, so much for being an attendant. I know more than you. After thinking long he finally said with absolute certainty, mapo tofu and beef with shiitake and bean paste. Yes, these two our Lord surely loves. That day when the fare was served he ate 3 bowls of rice straight. Van Sam looked at him. So Luke belongs to Luke Min. The tenants were found by him, and the return gifts passed through his hands. Hugh Nia froze, and when he realized what he had blurted he was close to tears. Today was a total disaster. The capable usually have some temper, hence Luke Min had sent Luke to guard in secret and did not want Van Sam to know. Who knew that on the very first day the White Crested struck out of nowhere and Luke had to reveal herself to save her. Later they lodged in the villa and kept the surface secret, never thinking Luke would be exposed not by herself but by his slip. His expression screamed, I am done for, do not be like that. Luke defeating a 3-star beast had already told me she was not simple. In truth she knew their relationship clearly and was only making polite banter to tease the fool. Hunia, shut up entirely, the bath needs 1 hour, at least keep me company for a bit. Forgive me, divine healer, I must protect my lord. With a solemn excuse he refused to gossip further, learning at last that the more you talk the more you err, so better keep your mouth shut. Seeing him stubbornly silent, Van Sam simply went to the kitchen to cook. An hour later, the bath over, Luke Min dressed and stepped out to find Hunia kneeling before him. I spoke out of turn, my lord, please punish me. What happened? Just now the divine healer asked about your taboos and preferences. Your servant panicked and revealed that you like mapo tofu and beef with shiitake and bean paste. How did she react? She said she had already guessed, but guessing and confirming are two different things. Hunia felt sour and near tears. Was she angry? Truly not. Then fine. Luke Min was unruffled. We had Luke's escort only lest the healer dislike it. If she does not mind, then henceforth Luke can follow openly. You did wrong yet you also rendered service. Merits and demerits balance. Rise, not punished. Really? Hunia stood hesitantly, still anxious. Mind your tongue from now on. I will remember. All done soaking? Asked a voice as Van Sam came up with a lunchbox. Thank you, divine healer, I feel much better. A fine smile flickered in Luke Min's eyes. Today's share is medicinal cuisine. She opened the box, ate Immortal's cake, decoct herbs for the liquid, add glutinous rice flour and sugar and steam into cakes, especially for poor appetite and lethargy, very spicy duck collarbones, numbing heat and fragrance, perfect as a snack, beef with shiitake and bean paste, best for mixing with rice, say it once and she remembered. Proving she had taken it to heart, Luke Min looked into the distance. Last time we came there was only one wolf dog, this time many white cresteds. It seems the healer truly likes raising magical beasts, not only like, I very much need them, only the truly brave dare face their deepest cravings. Luke Min nodded and took his leave, Hunia taking the box and trailing after. Van Sam drifted into a daze. Her luck had never been good, the kind that drags down the average, yet since meeting Luke Min, at some unknown point it had turned. Walk a road and rare herbs appear. A 4-star beastling gets tossed at her doorstep to be picked up. Say casually she wants this or that and in a few days it falls into her hands. At first she thought she had changed fate and crossed from misfortune to fortune. Later she learned it was not luck at all but someone throwing things onto paths she was bound to walk and disguising it as coincidence. Being far from home is hard enough, much less loving in another world. Why do I always make it hard for myself with standards set so high? In the end 1,000 words dwindled into a single sigh. Off-market glance, 5 vials of trauma salve, price negotiable, tagged Van Sam, professional floor flopper, Thomas 360 degrees spin begs to buy, sell to me first if any, tagged Van Sam, carry me boss, European luck king pity me, small weak helpless but rich, wanna buy medicine, tagged Van Sam was pinged into the open, and at the sight of the words European luck she knew fellow players deeply misunderstood her. Van Sam, how many do you want? Off-market glance. I am not greedy. 5 vials, professional floor flopper, 3 vials, carry me boss, 10 vials, Van Sam, in stock, DM me, envy crying. So another batch of drugs again. Van Sam earns points faster than a robbery. Van Sam glanced and thought, that is right, because I turned on the cheats. The white crested's picky eating was not serious. After a round of careful nursing the 4 little ones recovered one after another. The mother was overjoyed and for 3 days straight brought back half-dead 2-star red-bellied hill chickens as thank you gifts. Then officially taught the kids to fly and to hunt. Each time she logged on, Van Sam could see the mother leading 4 specially drilled little white cresteds, wheeling and side-slipping with flapping wings, looking every bit the part, while Big Black lay sunning, watching with lazy air. After examining Big Black, Van Sam said with satisfaction, you are back to normal, you will not lose control so easily again. Big Black stretched out his tongue to lick her palm, his eyes wet yet clear and gentle, and Van Sam had no resistance to wolf dogs, remembering how she once kept dozens of 3-star wolf dogs, each obedient and sensible with superb self-management, rarely needing her to worry. Hello, I am Muk Tran. Yesterday I leased the plot next door. A voice broke her thoughts. At the bamboo fence stood a gray-named male player trying to strike up talk. I am Van Sam, then we are neighbors, she greeted with a smile. How do you have so much land? Seeing 16 plots in a row, with bamboo huts and working space lined up neat, Muk Tran could not help but wonder. I sell violet grass paste for some money and plan to invest in land and be a landlord. Violet grass paste, first. He was stunned and then suddenly enlightened. So it is you, the one who ruthlessly beat the entire camp clinic. Hearing Van Sam had not rung a bell, but mentioned the premium violet grass paste that had once sold like wildfire, and he instantly recalled that the maker was Van Sam. Just luck, she demurred, then asked, "Why lease over here?" "I plan to craft a high-efficiency fertilizer. Sprinkled into soil it can raise yield by from 20 to 40%. Van Sam was intrigued. "Have you done it before or only just begun to study?" "A professional by training, learning tied to practice. The raw materials are scarce, adjust the ratios and it should work. Wish you success." "I will." With greetings done, Muk Tran returned to his hut and buried himself in research. Neighbors, huh? Once he left, Van Sam's gaze grew misty. She had seen such creatures as neighbors before. Only after her home kept to the hundreds of magical beasts did people in the vicinity move away often. Later, when the 2-star beasts grew into 3-star, roughhousing and brawling in gangs every day, neighbors fled even faster. By the time Lukman fell gravely ill and she formally took over his treatment, without noticing it the few remaining households were gone. Only then could she buy up the land and dominate the eastern quarter. Van Sam, a woman particularly ill-suited to party up and even less suited to be someone's neighbor. First checkup, second checkup, third checkup, fourth checkup, fifth checkup, Lukman cooperated with treatment and the illness clearly improved. Where once it flared at least once a month, now it had been more than a month since the last episode and his mind was clear with no signs of losing control. "These days have troubled the divine healer, a small token of my shallow respect." The so-called small token was 10 plots adjacent to her estate, nearly half of her net worth. Van Sam did a quick count. Lately she had saved enough points from selling trauma salve to buy 4 new plots, bringing the total under her name to 20. Add the 10 she just received and it made an even 30, a pace of land grabbing far swifter than openly selling medicine at the market. More importantly, healing Lukman earned her the Lord's protection, so whatever she did afterward would not be as hamstrung as before. "Thank you." She accepted the consultation fee calmly. "See you next time at recheck." Lukman nodded slightly and left with his retainer. Van Sam was about to log off to rest when she saw the 4 hatchlings struggling together to lug a tiger skin hare. Tottering toward her, one clumsy chick dropped it, stared blankly, then scrambled up to continue. The mother stood by watching, eyes full of encouragement. The little ones halted before Van Sam, laid the prey on the ground, and chirped "pie pie" in excitement. "For me," she gasped, and in reply came higher, sharper "pie pie pie," and she was moved. For hatchlings, hunting is an extremely important skill. They often learn under parental supervision and present the first catch to their elder, and now the white cresteds chose to dedicate their very first prey to her. The mother knew and not only was not angry but accompanied them to do it. Warmth flooded Van Sam's heart. She rolled her sleeves. Time to stir-fry rabbit with explosive heat and eat it with extra rice. The little ones gazed up with worship and drooled in unison. After logging out, the system chimed again. "Today your accumulated online time is 360 minutes, namely 6 hours, which has reached the daily maximum. Your physical condition has been assessed as good. Starting tomorrow 1 hour will be added each day for a total of 7 hours. Please balance work and rest and play in moderation." It was mid-May of the year 2205, not quite 2 months since she first entered the game, and her progress was twice as fast as others, so Van Sam decided to go to a restaurant for a good meal to reward herself. Had she known what was to come, she would certainly not have gone out that night, but she did not, so she changed clothes, slipped out, and hailed a ride. The result: news broke that because of thick fog at night and a vehicle going against traffic, a serious accident occurred on route such and such. 6 cars collided, 2 people died on the spot, 9 were injured and rushed to hospital. When Van Sam awoke, she was stunned, dressed in a hospital gown, whole body weak and powerless, and on the electronic bracelet at her wrist the display read, "The year 2206, the 13th day of July, 9:15. More than a year and 2 months had passed since her last login. Van Sam, this rebirth was truly a rebirth into loneliness. When you were brought in, your condition was actually not good. Surviving is a great fortune." After reciting a string of technical terms, the doctor said so, and Van Sam asked the one thing she cared about. "Doctor, when can I be discharged?" "It should be fine, but it is best to do a physical and stay for observation another week," he said, handing over papers. "These are the hospitalization costs. Please settle within 3 months." She glanced at the numbers, breath hitched and vision swam as if she might collapse. Books. Regaining calm, she said stubbornly, "I remember I bought insurance before the incident. This is the portion you must bear personally after the insurer's payment." The doctor smiled. "Under the federal policy, the hospital treats first and collects later. If after cure you cannot clear the debt, staff are authorized to auction property in your name. If the auction still falls short, the debt will be recorded until you accumulate enough to repay. Before then your actions will be restricted and you may not engage in luxury spending." Van Sam, For a moment she felt staying in the ward was worse than dying on the spot. She was an orphan with no kin. Where could she find so much money to repay? The string of digits seemed long enough to make the heart cramp. Rest well. The doctor, oblivious to the lethal force of his words, walked off, still offering gentle advice. During a hospital checkup, Van Sam browsed the hottest topic threads, sensitive skin and allergy prone, yet after playing the game, I became immune to everything. This is too miraculous. Bad stomach, easy to gain weight, but after half a month of playing I lost 6 pounds. My friends asked how I got thinner. I just played, no workout, no diet pills, the weight dropped by itself. I have hereditary rhinitis, but since playing Apocalypse Base, it never came back. Is this a medical miracle? 2 million for one registration code. I want in. Throwing money is useless. This game doesn't rely on pay to win, not friendly to rich players. Everyone's praising Apocalypse Base. The healing effects are real. I had a limp and walked with a cane. After 3 months in-game, I fully recovered, walking fast as the wind. Half a year ago I was ambushed by an NPC, lost my account, thought I'd relapse, but my legs stayed fine. Though I can't play anymore, I'm still a fan. Whenever I see it, I praise it. After reading everything, Van Sam roughly understood the situation, waited for her medical report, confirmed she was fine, and immediately processed her discharge. After a year and 2 months of forced rest, she no longer knew what had become of Red Peak Base, nor what happened to De Hay, by Joan, or Luke Min. Anxiety knotted her. She hurried home, put on the VR helmet, and logged in. Crimson pupils glowed like rubies, black hair flowing in the wind, thick chains bound his limbs but couldn't stop him from advancing. The Lord's sick, unconscious, we must restrain him. Xuexian gripped a chain tight, shouting, can't hold him. Yui's veins bulged. Even if we can't, we must. Lulu's face was pale, biting her lip. Chu Hong said nothing, gripping hard till her palms bled but refused to let go. Disgusting, wanted to kill them all. Rage flooded him. Luke Min yanked the chain, and in an instant, Xuexian and Lulu were sent flying, followed by Yui and Chu Hong. All 4 coughed blood, sprawled helplessly. My lord, Xuexian cried hoarsely, wake up, useless, he can't hear. Chu Hong spat blood, staring at him, thinking desperately for a plan. None could work. If only Miss Van Sam were here. Yui sighed. Lulu sneered, she's been gone for over a year. Where do we find her? Stop talking nonsense, think fast. If I could think, we wouldn't be here. Yui snapped, no. Plan means the base will fall, Xuexian said coldly. I'll go. Chu Hong stood, eyes burning. I'll risk my life to buy time. Grab the chains and trap him again. Before she finished, Luke Min shattered the chains on his ankles. We're doomed, Yui muttered. Luke Min cast them a cold glance and walked toward the base center. Stop him, Xuexian yelled. Chu Hong dashed forward but was instantly grabbed by the throat, his eyes filled with killing intent. Yet she didn't resist, closing her eyes. As he was about to crush her, someone rushed from behind, hugging him. Doctor, Yui shouted. Luke Min ignored it, trying to shake her off. Van Sam clung tightly, looping her arms around his. Calm down, breathe, you'll be fine. Her voice echoed near his ear, and Luke Min's hand loosened, sparing Chu Hong. Pain stabbed his head, he staggered, frowning. Van Sam pressed his temples gently, asking softly, better now? Her thumb's soothing motion eased the pain. He turned to her as if discovering treasure. Still hurt? She asked. He didn't answer, suddenly scooped her up, striding toward the bamboo house. Wait, what? This script's wrong, she panicked, but he kept walking. Is this okay? Yui asked nervously. Should be, Lulu replied. Chu Hong's throat bore red marks, she couldn't speak. Xuexian muttered, seems she means no harm to him. If she wanted him dead, she'd just do nothing. Who knows when he'll recover, or how long she'll stay. This time, Yui looked toward the hut, full of worry. Inside, Luke Min hugged Van Sam like a giant pillow, sniffing around like a cat. Though she knew he was sick, Van Sam still wanted to hit him. Behave, she snapped in embarrassment. You sound nice, he mumbled against her neck. She gave up and froze like a pillow. He caught her hand and pressed it to his face. The bloodlust faded, peace returned. He stayed still, eyes closing slowly. This isn't what a proper pillow does, she thought, trying to pull back. But his face scrunched, almost waking, so she stopped, staying motionless. As for why she appeared here, a long story. Logging back in, she found De Hay had reached 3 stars, by Zhuan's cub grown into 3-star form. The 3 farmers worked hard, crops well divided, everything in order as if she'd never left. An NPC told her, this past year, the Lord handled everything himself, even fed the beasts. Now the base has eternal spring. 4 harvests a year, your share of rations is stored safely, none may touch it. Joy and fear mingled in her heart. She had returned too late. The beast tide was upon them. To protect the base, Luke Min forced a 5-star breakthrough. Mind fractured, reason fading. Where is he? She asked. The Lord forbade anyone near. wait till he recovers. The NPC hesitated. Take me, I can help him, she insisted. He's a good man, shouldn't suffer this. The younger NPC said, I know where. If he won't take you, I will. Thus she found Luke Min. The car accident and year-long coma had ruined her plans. She could have used foreknowledge to amass fortune early, now only chaos remained. Her head throbbed, wishing she could go back and lock herself at home. Think of something, she muttered, remembering the string of clues on the document. She pondered mid-game profits, suddenly paused in mid-stage. The base's 4 sides were expanded, crops increased, yields up, trade richer, missing materials now abundant, all high-profit crafts viable, only concerned competitors, but since all formulas were her own designs, she feared none. Recalling a few lucrative recipes, she smiled faintly. About 20 minutes later, Luke Min woke, blood-red eyes dimmed but still unstable. Van Sam restrained her urge to hit him, softly said, I'll brew medicine, let go first. He ignored her, lounging lazily. She tried pulling her hand, he caught it, wouldn't release. Closing her eyes, she sighed, then come with me. Tugging him along, he followed indifferently. My lord, Yui asked as they came out. Luke Min cold and silent. Don't call, he's still crazy, Van Sam grumbled. Someone get herbs, Zhuexan said. The kitchen stocked, if lacking, I'll buy more. Then let's check. Since his illness, many doctors had tried treating him. The kitchen filled with all kinds of herbs. Van Sam inspected. No need, everything's here. She rolled her sleeves and started boiling. Pain waves surged. Luke Min's NK books face pale, gripping the table to stay upright. Lock him, Zhuexan shouted. No chains, all 4 broken. Yui sighed. Zhuexan bit his lip, trying to pull Van Sam away, but she calmly hugged Luke Min, patting his back, soothing. I'm here, you'll be fine. He stayed still, looking trapped yet obedient. Zhuexan speechless, 4 iron chains failed, but a 2-star support restrained him. Must be some special skill. Pain came fast, went fast. Luke Min rested. Van Sam finally brewed the calm spirit soup, brought it to him. Drink this. He stared, unmoving. If we hold him down and pour, Yui mumbled, he'll kill you. Van Sam said flatly. Yui shut up, my lord. She brewed it herself. No harm, please drink, Zhuexan pleaded. Luke Min ignored them. Sick but refusing medicine, hopeless, they sighed. Van Sam thought for a moment, sipped half, then offered it. I drank it, tastes fine. You drink the rest? Luke Min frowned. Thought a bit, then took it. Zhuexan winced. Author's note, discovered a treasure, hide it, even in sleep want a hug. Luke Min's plan succeeded. Van Sam speechless. Luke and Chu Hong stood by in silence. When the Lord finally swallowed the medicine, both exhaled in relief, and Luke suddenly asked, where have you been these days? At the mention of it, Van Sam's stomach clenched. Had an accident and was hospitalized for over 1 year. Only just woke up recently. How is that possible? Hunia blurted, stunned, while Van Sam's face was heavy with grief. Do not ask. Bad luck is the answer. She should not have left home at all. Home is the safest. Can the Lord be cured? Chu Hong choked out, word by word, insisting on clarity. Not sure about a full cure, but with treatment at least he will not be as bad as now. Van Sam answered after weighing her words. Then fine, Luke said bluntly. We have seen so many physicians these days, only you sound like you can turn this around. After more than half a bowl of decoction, Luke Min's color improved somewhat. Hunia fretted. Why can he not sleep? In the past, after drinking, the lady doctor also simmered a calming soup and the Lord slept well, Van Sam said. His condition worsened. A mere calming soup can hardly put him under now. Then what do we do? Hunia grew anxious. Given his current state, he needs to stay by my side at all times, Van Sam said solemnly. Long-term use of calming broth and medicinal food will help. After a few days I will make sachets to carry on and to ease irritability. Alright, we will listen to you. Hunia cooperated. Ta Tin thought a moment, then lifted his head. Hunia, you follow the Lord and take good care of him. The remaining work I will handle. And Hunia agreed. Seeing matters settled, Chu Hong tossed, if nothing else, I am off, and left without looking back, as if he had come only to keep Luke Min from losing control. Luke said, the camp is dangerous. I will leave the guardian physician here. And with that arranged, Van Sam led Luke Min back to the manor. Before they reached the door, Dai Hak vaulted the bamboo fence and galloped over to greet them, for white finches perched on Van Sam's shoulders, cheeping non-stop. I am back, she said, thinking of how she had failed to settle her beasts and then lay in a hospital for 1 year, her heart filled with guilt. You have suffered. A warm reunion could not withstand Luke Min's relapse. Scarlet seemed to dye his pupils. A grim killing intent poured off him. Van Sam set aside playing with her beasts. Help him inside. But the instant Hu Nia's hand brushed his sleeve, a blast of force flung him away. Van Sam fell silent. No one else could approach, so she alone supported him, the two of them shuffling slowly toward the bamboo house, Die-Hack wagging along wherever she went. The four white finches wanted to follow but for some reason hesitated and, after a moment, did not go. In the coin-grinding guild chat, Van Sam teased Tanjia Khan. "I read the stars and counted on my fingers. Today feels right for a big deal," he replied at once. "Guild Master. You are alive? It has been over 1 year since you popped up here. What happened?" A moment later he grew suspicious. "Is this even you? Did someone steal your account?" Van Sam said. "Car crash, hospital for 1 year and 2 months, only woke not long ago." "That is rotten luck," he sighed. "Had you kept playing, you would already be a local overlord." "It is not too late," said Van Sam. Last life around this time she had only just met Luke Min and things were no better. "True, buying so much medicine. I thought you specialized in golden wound salve and rejuvenation pills as the best." He praised her to the skies. "Others only make blood-stanching powder or big tonics, just not the same." "How much do you want?" she asked crisply. "No rush," he pivoted. "Join the Founders Association, help with affairs, I will pay you monthly." As the popularity of Doomsday Camp rose, more and more players grinded for coin. Without a free-to-play path, nothing could stop spenders' resolve, and all kinds of money-making tricks bloomed. The most common was buying points at high prices, then real-world cash prepaid for in-game items and materials, then hiring players as workers with monthly wages and daily hours on call. Turning a virtual reality game into a job might be dull, but it paid 1 month could outstrip 2 or 3 months of salary. No overtime, weekends off, perks better than most jobs, and many players did not mind and even hustled to find work. Knowing Van Sam for many years, trusting her skill and character, he invited her to join and planned to entrust her with weight. "But joining is fine, I just do not have that much time," she declined politely. 6 hours a day will not take too much, he insisted. "Outside those hours is your own time. If you wish, you can craft golden wound salves and rejuvenation pills to sell to the association. That part pays extra. Red Wind Camp is not what it used to be," he added. "Many quick cash routes were cut off by associations. Forget eating meat, there is not even soup left for the rest. Fertilizer, husbandry, clothing, battle pets, herbs, main dishes, snacks, weapons, gear. Every field has factions reaching in. Someone even sells soap by casting crystals." "Thanks," said Van Sam, "but I have other plans," and seeing her firm, he did not press. "Then business it is. Give me 200 bottles of golden wound salve and 100 bottles of rejuvenation pills." "Cash," she said. "Deal," he said. At dawn the white finches returned from the hunt with spoils. 2 birds each holding a red-bellied 1-star jungle fowl, the other 2 each holding a 1-star white egret duck, and 1 holding a 2-star tiger pelt hare. When they saw Van Sam, all 5 offered their prey, then sat in a row awaiting their meal. "Impressive," she laughed. The tenant farmers handled their 3 meals, and aside from Luke Min, Hugh Nia, and Luke, she only had to feed herself, Die-Hack, and the 5 finches, yet the finches' daily hunts were enough to fill their bellies with surplus for market. Praised, they puffed their chests in pride. One nearly dashed out again to fetch more, but the finch mother, sharp-eyed and vigilant, chirped once to stop the little rascal. The beasts' big heads were heavy in the hands. After a thought, Van Sam cooked a pot of rice and made 4 dishes: mouth-watering Sichuan spicy chicken, fragrant and tender and perfect with rice; beggar's chicken wrapped in clay and lotus leaves, roasted till crisp outside and soft within with a unique flavor; old duck stew as a medicinal dish with herbs, shiitake, bamboo shoots, and smoked hawk simmered long till the duck turned meltingly soft; and a rabbit and potato pot that wafted dill-bright chili heat, the rabbit dry fragrant, the potatoes tender, the pairing doubly good, catching the aroma. Die-Hack and the finches dutifully clamped bowls and basins, lining up before her. Time to eat. 3 days later at the trading market. Incense name, focus calming incense, quantity, 1 stick, duration, 30 minutes, effect, stills the mind, raises task focus, price, 10 contribution points, seller, Van Sam, white name. Incense name, focus calming incense, quantity, 5 sticks, duration, 30 minutes, effect, stills the mind, raises task focus, price, 50 contribution points, seller, Van Sam, white name. By chance, Niyamchi Kwok glimpsed it and frowned lightly. Van Sam? Why does that name sound so familiar, like I heard it somewhere? Just then teammate Tong Tin Van, sporting 2 swollen mosquito bites on his thigh, was dabbing premium purple herb balm and grinned. Van Sam is the one who suppressed all the big clinics and lit a fire under every player's entrepreneurial spirit. Asked a latecomer who had joined the game late and knew nothing of the purple herb bomb storm. Hearing the captain and vice chat, he was clueless. There was such a person who was all the rage at the start, Tong Tin Van summarized, later vanished for reasons unknown. Back then premium purple herb balm was out of stock every other day. Bitten by mosquitoes you just had to grit your teeth. Can you believe it? The newcomer gaped, unable to picture it, such realism. 3 days of itchy welts and you would feel like dying, after she sold the recipe. To Red Wing Clinic, the camp never lacked that balm again. Neom Chi Kwok smiled. The year we took the herb fields and planted on a large scale, were we not inspired by her too? A year on and she is still white, named 2-star. Sounds like she has not gone far. Tong Tin Van whistled. Since fate brings us together, shall we support her shop? He did not refuse. Do as you see fit, and Tong Tin Van bought 5 sticks while muttering, that balm is amazing, but where did she get the recipe? And what special effect might this incense have? You think top-tier formulas are trash you pick up in the street? Neom Chi Kwok said coolly, and Tong Tin Van shut his mouth. I will go pick up the goods. With the goods in hand, he took one look and his expression turned odd. If not for the rule that game IDs cannot duplicate, I would think someone was using her name to scam people. This thing costs 10 points a stick, daylight robbery. The listing said 1 stick, and he had imagined a fat candle at that price, but in reality it was a very thin, not so long incense cord. In his mind, incense cords should be sold by bundles, not by single sticks. I feel I have been fleeced, he mumbled. This is the trading market. Shoddy and fake goods are not allowed on the shelf, said Neom Chi Kwok. But use it or you will never know a training ground, he said and strode off. At the same time, Van Sam messaged Han Jia Khan. I just made a batch of focus calming incense. Interested? What is that? An incense cord that stills the mind and heightens focus while working, she replied. It also has a nickname, Double Skill Experience Buff, and he was stunned. If so, that would make life easy. Details: it applies broadly, combat skills, support skills, life skills, dueling techniques, and there is a tiny chance of sudden enlightenment. It only raises focus and comprehension. It does not claim to speed up leveling. Sold by the stick. 1 stick costs 10 points and lasts 30 minutes. Best effect on a single user. Shared use mildly reduces effect. He fell silent a beat, then said, buy 30 sticks first. Alright, she said. In truth the incense was an accident. She meant to craft a soothing sleep incense for Luke Min but, by a happy misstep, ended up with a focus-boosting, thought-sharpening stick. Because it was powerful and useful, she occasionally made some to sell. In recent days she made 300 sticks, tossed them onto the market, and left them there while she turned back to study Luke Min's illness. In the kitchen, Hugh Nia craned his neck and asked curiously, I heard calming grass only works for simmering calming soup and has no other use. What are you making, divine physician? Snacks, Van Sam answered while working. With herbs added, tasty and healthful. She decocted herbs for their liquid, kneaded it into glutinous rice flour, and wrapped bean paste inside. Soon a gentle grassy fragrance drifted through the kitchen, clearing the head and settling the heart. When the dumplings were steamed, she set them out to cool and counted. Altogether 20 pieces, 6 beasts and 4 people, split evenly. How can the Lord have the same share as beasts? Hugh Nia protested. She blinked. At least give him double, he insisted. Luke shot him a warning look. They are the physician's dumplings. Distribution is up to her. My share and Hugh Nia's go with the Lord. Thus the method stayed the same and the Lord would end up with 6. And Hugh Nia caught on, admitted fault. Luke is right, I did not think it through. Van Sam set out the food for Dai Hak and the Finches, then prepared another portion. This is for Luke Min. And when Hugh Nia saw it was not 2 or 6 but 8, he fell silent. He had worried for nothing. The physician was not unfair. The Lord and the beasts did not truly have equal shares. With 30 sticks in hand, Han Jia Khan treated them like welfare for corps members, 1 each, and said, use them during skill drills. The effect shows. So tiny? What effect? Scoffed Vice Chair Kang Traekdyung. Who made this? Van Sam. She is back? Rose from the dead. Having heard nothing for over a year, he had assumed she quit. Heard she had trouble, said Han Jia Khan, closing the topic. Remember to use and report back. Made by Van Sam. Feng Yingu eyed the short incense with a vague feeling. In Training Hall Room 401, he had hired a private coach for one-on-one, and because it was a junior coach the price was kind, 1 session of 30 minutes for 50 points. When you punch, be fast and be ruthless, drop your foe in an instant, said Coach Ho, a named NPC, and as he spoke he suddenly ambushed. Used to NPC teaching styles, Feng Yingu kept permanent vigilance, meeting the move and countering, but Old Ginger is hottest. Coach Ho used one hand to reverse control and the other to strike a joint, subduing him in a blink. Feng Yingu was glad the coach had not used full power or his joint might have popped. With battle sense that rich, how long did you train? Before becoming a coach I ran outside a long time, 4 years, did not die, still alive, Ho said. techniques honed between life and death sought simplicity and utility, nothing flashy, and Feng Yinggu felt that resume alone made the points worth it. If you were only junior, how terrifying, or mid and senior. Ho flipped him with a neat toss and sneered, 3 stars or 4 stars can crush with pure strength, no matter how exquisite the opponent's skills, they are like paper. Which was not wrong. Stretching, Ho suddenly noticed his reactions were especially sharp today, movements smoother, and sniffed. What is that smell? Focus calming incense, said Feng Yinggu, and at once launched a sneak kick at the ankle, but Ho Nelton trapped his leg in counter, leaving him despairing. Thank goodness wild beasts were not this hard. After 30 minutes of sparring, Feng Yinggu clearly felt how good the incense was. Usually he needed 8 to 10 drills to begin grasping a dueling trick, but today after 5 he faintly caught NK books the gist and even made the coach eat a small loss. If that was no fluke, then the incense had quickened learning like a doubled skill experience buff. When the session ended, Coach Ho stared at the spent ash, lost in thought. It smells good. Where to buy? From the chair, he answered. Then, recalling Van Sam's habits, added, it will likely show up on the market, not knowing it was already listed and thinking she had merely seated friends first. The market, doubt flickered in Ho's eyes. Then he nodded, thanks. Feng Yinggu took his leave, and Ho sat cross-legged on the spot, seizing a fleeting spark from training and pondering hard. On the association farm, Kang Trakedyung wore plain morning-colored clothes, a towel on his shoulder, sweating like rain as he tilled. He looked nothing like a rich second-generation or a vice-chair, more like a weathered, diligent farmer, who, he panted, raised his arm, and found 3 new mosquito welts. Itching madly, what am I doing? He sighed, sat in a corner, and dabbed premium purple herb balm. When he first played he had been naive, thinking that being in the game would slowly fix his body and that receding hairlines had nothing to do with him, but reality was cruel. Sitting still for 4 hours and laboring for 4 hours yielded worlds apart. Only by working could you temper spirit and improve physique. What counted as work? Hunting, chopping, mining, farming, husbandry, cooking, brewing, everything. But wild grinding was too dangerous. Squatting up was alright. Going solo was feeding yourself to beasts and wasting a hard-won registration code. He had no talent for husbandry or cooking or tailoring. Eliminated to the end, 3 choices remained: chop in the logging yard, mine in the pit, or farm in the fields, pure manual labor with no skill threshold. Bitterly he thought, a rich second-gen reduced to laboring in a VR game. Such irony, but for lush hair he would grit his teeth and do it. In the circle there was a young ace who had his company in order before 30, yet went bald early and thinned at the crown, so that he dared not go out without a wig, and if he met acquaintances he was mocked. It is only a lack of hair, cooler, even. What is there to laugh at? But reality laughs at baldness regardless of your ability. Kang pitied that brother and warned himself never to share his fate, so no matter the hardship he persisted. Right, the chair gave me 1 stick, asked for feedback. He rarely visited the training hall and so simply lit it while farming. Whether illusion or not, he suddenly felt clear, learned how to apply force and use leverage. The tasks were the same, yet felt lighter. Half an hour later the incense was spent. Half an hour already? I did not feel it, he said, then realized, after lighting it, focus soared and time flew. For someone not short of money, the pure focus boost alone made it a daily necessity. Next day, Feng Yinggu reached the hall early, planning to book Coach Ho as usual, only to hear, Coach Ho? He had an enlightenment last night, challenged the promotion on the spot, passed, and is now mid-level. Sessions now cost 100 points. Shall I book you in? He froze, almost thinking the staffer joked. They had known each other over a year. How did enlightenment and promotion and doubled price happen overnight? Yesterday he seemed normal, and then he remembered the flickering scent of the incense and his own extraordinary learning state, and his face went stiff. Author's note, 2 merged into 1. Question: why could Die Hack follow while the white finches could not? A. Die Hack, I am the first beast ever taken in. Luke Min, anyhow, we shared the bond of fighting over beef. Mind calming incense, 10 points a stick, that's too pricey. Tan Van frowned. In Doomsday Basecamp points are hard to earn, every bit is essence. She read the line: effect, calms the mind and steadies the breath, improves work focus, sighed, what a pity. She truly wanted it, but the price cap she set was too low, not worth it. She kept browsing, then sensed something off. Why does it feel like someone sweeping the shelves? A moment ago the jars for mind-calming incense and cloud fur were full. After a refresh more than 20 listings had vanished. Tan Van often buys in the trade market, so she knows only when stock is wiped out do posted pills disappear that fast. Could this incense have some special effect? Too curious, she rushed in just before the rush sale and snapped up 2 orders. Buy 2 sticks to try first. In a corner of the market, Niang Chi Kwok and Tong Tin Van worked 2 vending terminals side by side. hammering in orders. Tong Tin Van, gifted and quick, rattled on, that Van Sam is a real talent. Violet herb paste stronger than the NPCs was one thing, now her incense cords are god tier. Turns out I was shallow, 10 points a stick isn't expensive at all. Shut it, Niam Chi Quack hissed, walls have ears, careful who hears. Getting Tong Tin Van to shut up is harder than taking his life. His hands and mouth both kept going, only changing the topic of his ramble. Why at most 5 sticks per order, can't we list 10, 20 at once? Damn, feels like others are sweeping too. What's going on? Did other factions notice this fun little toy? Move, faster, no time left. He muttered answers to himself and pushed his fingers faster. After who knows how long the refresh showed no more mind-calming incense, his tense nerves slackened, so tired I could die. Niam Chiquak looked around, all 80 vending machines in the hall were in use. Quite a few operators wore black names overhead and grinned like they'd struck gold. He went silent a blink, dread rising. Those competing for incense with us may not be players but NPCs. Tong Tin Van, competing with NPCs on NPC turf, sure, what a power play. On the Kok Kim Game Forum, West Lake Tears, I saw the guild leader's great name at the market making a duplicate Jianghu comeback. At Van Sam, carry me big boss, small, weak, pitiful but rich, beg mind-calming incense, beg trauma salve, beg restoration pill. At Van Sam, gone crazy, I heard the news and went to snipe, but the market was packed, had to queue for a machine. When it was my turn the incense was already gone. Worthy of you, the woman who brings storm and blood wherever she goes. At Van Sam. Summoned by the noise, Van Sam thought, no wonder the guild stays super lively with 99 plus messages a day even when the leader's away. She had barely logged back in when the members knew. Van Sam, got disconnected earlier, I'm back now, trades open, DM if interested. Eat drink play, Kang Trek Duong knew it was you, the original Van Sam, no soulless machine trading. Eat drink play, Kang Trek Duong got incense left, give me 100 sticks first. West Lake Tears, opening bid 100, money power used well, I'm crying with envy, carry me big boss. Leader Kang my love, money for you, meds for me. At Van Sam, country eyes, mind calming incense is what? And why is the guild leader rising from the dead? Confused.jpg. Her guildmates are all characters, their chatter easy on the ears. Returning to the guild felt like coming home, and the air smelled delightfully of money. Van Sam, same as always, trade via DM, at everyone. My lord, this is hawthorn cake made by the divine physician, please try it. Hugh Nia presented the snack, eyes full of hope. Luke Min glanced once and looked away, as if he'd neither heard nor seen a thing. Hugh Nia's face fell, this illness is too strange. When it first struck no one could recognize anyone, now that it's worse he only eats what the divine physician makes. My lord may well be suffering an incurable disease, not eating is also good, in case someone slips in poison. Luke took it lightly, though his gaze was stuck to the hawthorn cake. Rein yourself in, Hugh Nia said. I'm not touching it. Luke felt very disciplined. My lord's been out for days and you're not worried. With a divine physician here it'll be fine. He paused and added, if something really happens we can't stop it anyway. We've already seen that much. Hugh Nia, not only unconsoled, his fist had tightened, and stopped tattling everything in front of my lord. Luke said gravely, from what I've observed, during episodes my lord prefers quiet. Anyone outside of Van Sam who gets too close just worsens his mood. Come over here, I promise I won't beat you to death. Hugh Nia rolled up his sleeves. You say it like you've ever laid a hand on me. Luke pouted. Unnoticed, the deep red in Luke Min's eyes had drained away. My lord, you're awake. Hugh Nia happened to catch it, joy mingling with shock. Where is this? For a heartbeat Luke Min almost confused reality with a dream. The divine physician's residence. Hugh Nia answered at once. Divine physician, Miss Van Sam's place. Luke rephrased. Luke Min pressed his lips. Where is she? Not here for the moment. He switched questions. During this episode, what did I do? Hugh Nia sketched the past few days, while Luke's expression shifted ever so slightly. Sensing it, Luke Min looked to Luke. Speak, what happened while I lost control? Right, Luke recounted from start to finish. Compare the two versions and you see it at once, one abridged, one complete. When he flared he recognized no kin yet would accept Van Sam's first command. Tutin, Hugh Nia, Luke, and Chu Hong all failed to restrain him. Only when Van Sam held him did he calm. When the headache hit he acted uncharacteristically, not killing but carrying someone into the room. Luke Min fixed on Hugh Nia, pupils edging toward crimson. Why didn't you say so earlier? He knew that after an episode he would accept Van Sam's aid, but he did not know that the process of treatment would be so shaming. Hugh Nia hurried to his knees, unable to muster a single rebuttal. Luke reported matter-of-fact, "So long as the divine physician can cure you, nothing else matters. That was your original order." At the time it referred to ignoring the physician's origins, but it fits. Here, your subordinate believes that so long as you recover, we needn't fuss about the treatment methods. The deep red whirled up and swallowed more than half his pupils, nearly unable to suppress the inner rage and fretfulness. Luke Min barked, "Out, all of you out." Hugh Nia and Luke withdrew without a word. Alone in the room, cold sweat streamed down Luke Min's forehead, claw marks scored his arm. Just then a sweet and tart scent drilled into his nose. He forced himself to hold back. Pinched off a piece of hawthorn cake and tasted it, his brows jumped, sour, yet he still ate 3 pieces in a row, and the violent mood finally settled. "My lord, he's all right, isn't he? Keeping watch outside." Hugh Nia looked uneasy. "Had I known I wouldn't have kept it from him." Luke saw through him. "You're only afraid he'll lose face and want to protect him." His lord was angry, likely not at the concealment but at his own shame. "Hard to accept at first. Once calm he'll be fine." Hugh Nia wilted. "If only Ta Tin were attending my lord. Compared to him, Ta Tin is more reliable." Ta Tin, Luke snorted. "With him around he'd guard against robbery more than against Van Sam. How would my lord accept treatment?" Hugh Nia was struck dumb. "Ta Tin is fiercely wary of women. If he were glued to my lord, the treatment process would be even harder, likely knowing his own temper." Ta Tin volunteered to stay behind to handle the backlog and left the bedside care to Hugh Nia. "With Van Sam here it'll be fine, just wait," Luke said patiently. Sure enough, 15 minutes later he was summoned in. "My lord." Luke awaited orders. "Has the consultation fee been paid?" Luke Min asked. "No. Without your instruction I dared not decide. I recall the lord's manor has a 4-star cub. Give it to Van Sam as thanks." "Yes," Luke said. "Magical beasts only in the cub stage lack defenses, and after a period of living together they become affectionate with humans. If no contract is formed in time, as they age their temper turns fiery and their aggression grows." The gift had been prepared a year ago but the physician never returned. Now the manor was raising a third. 2 earlier had simply grown too old and were handed off. Besides the cub, prepare 20 plots of land and 2 tenant farmers, Luke Min ordered, "as you command." At the mission hall, Van Sam found Miss Kim the NPC. "Hello, I want to post my first hiring notice. Please go ahead." Van Sam detailed her requirements and paid the posting fee. Soon a new job stood on the board. Chef, work location, East District Manor. Duties, in charge of 3 daily meals for a magical beast. 12 points per hour, settled daily. Benefits, room and board. Requirements, outstanding culinary skill. Headcount, 1, contact, player Van Sam. Before, she cooked herself because Big Black had a mental illness and the standard white cub suffered picky eating. She had planned to hire a chef for the daily meals once the beast recovered, while she would only make snacks now and then as extra. Who knew a disaster would strike and she would lie in the hospital for a year and 2 months. Then upon relog she ran into Luke Min's rampage. Things dragged to today. "Once I recruit a chef I'll focus on potion making," Van Sam calculated. At the current rate of earning, at most 2 months to clear the medical debt. Back at the manor, Van Sam was nearly buried in gifts. "These are 20 plots of land from my lord. These are the tenant farmers. This is a 4-star white tiger cub, Van Sam, worthy of a domain lord, majestic and lavish." If she sold them for points then for money, she could pay off her debt in a snap. But she wanted to play the game properly and for now had no intention of selling land. "Is Luke Min awake?" "Yes." Hugh Nia nodded. "Bring him here," Van Sam said, "while he is lucid. We'll have him soak in the medicinal bath first." "Why didn't we earlier?" He trailed off. "The last time my lord flared he allowed no one near. Even when the divine physician coaxed him to eat and drink medicine, he only cooperated occasionally and mostly refused. Asking him to soak a bath would be the same unless the physician helped undress him and pressed him down." Too vivid an image, Hugh Nia dared not picture it. Bowed his head and murmured, "I'll go now." Luke Min, ashamed and furious, about to bolt. At the trading market, Tan Van hurried into the hall, found the self-service console, typed in the 2 words Van Sam, and the screen immediately popped up a notice, "No entries found." Unwilling to accept it, she entered Ngungthan Incense, and the result was still, "No entries found." If there were a fresh listing it should show up, so 0 meant the stock had sold out. She fumed. "Why did I think it was pricey back then and buy only 2 sticks, remembering when hundreds of bundles of Ngungthan incense had been laid out before her, yet she had looked down her nose and watched the treasure get snapped up by others. Her heart felt like it was breaking. A cook by trade, she had planned to calm down and think carefully, to research and invent a few new dishes. But the moment she lit the incense her whole bearing brightened. Her thoughts became more agile than usual. Inspiration surged in waves until she had to grab a pen to jot things down. she had never seen such a state, and even thought she had suddenly achieved enlightenment. When the incense burned out, the inspiration dried up like a spent spring. She racked her brains for a long while and only vaguely grasped a hint, refusing to believe in mere chance. She lit a second stick, and inspiration exploded again. The state returned at once. Only then did she realize the thing truly worked. 10 points per stick was not expensive at all. From that day on she ran to the trading markets several times a day hoping to buy more ngung than incense, but ever since it sold out no new batch appeared. Could it be I'll never be able to buy it again? Heavy-hearted, she drifted into the mission hall to look for work and earn points. Her gaze skimmed about until a recruitment notice caught her eye and her eyes lit up. After confirming the invitation, Tan Van obtained Van Sam's contact from the NPC staffer and then used her black watch to send a message. Hello, I'm Tan Van, 3 generations of cooks in my family. I'd like to accept the manor cook position. She kept tweaking the wording and read it 3 times before, satisfied, sending it off. Soon, Van Sam replied, if you're free, come now, and Tan Van, delighted, hurried over. When she arrived more than a dozen people were waiting to interview. Her heart tightened. Fierce competition. She didn't fear numbers, only that someone suitable would be chosen before her so the interview would end without her turn. As she worried, a blue-named male player, a 3-star, said arrogantly, ngung than incense, 1 stick for 20 points, I want 50 sticks, and Tan Van froze. Was this really an interview, not a trading floor? Today we're only recruiting cooks, we're not selling ngung than incense. Please leave, said Van Sam, pained. How many times had this been now, under the banner of exquisite culinary arts, and the first thing said upon meeting was buying incense? Think it over. This is a big deal, I'll pay double. The man, expecting warm reception, was briskly dismissed and instantly flustered. Seeing he still wouldn't go, Van Sam called, Luke. No sooner said than done. A vine whipped out, bound the man, and, without a word, flung him over the bamboo fence. This is the bodyguard I hired at high pay, Van Sam said seriously. I'm only recruiting cooks. If you have other business, talk to her. And the place fell silent. Of the people waiting, more than 10 left at once, leaving 5 who were real cooks. The next applicant was over 40. The black letters chef man hovered above his head. A named NPC, 3-star, awakened talent mighty, with over 2 decades of experience. Van Sam glanced at Luke, suspecting Lukeman had sent him. Luke gave a cool look back though inwardly baffled. Why look at me? Am I supposed to throw this one out too? Why accept the invitation? Van Sam asked as usual. Chef Manna's eyes burned with a touch of fervor. I want to become the most excellent cook. When skill advances, it truly advances. When art is mastered, it becomes sublime. His life's only pursuit was the summit of the culinary arts, nothing else. Seeing his sincerity was not feigned, Van Sam agreed to keep him. Probation for 15 days. On boarding you get worker benefits, 1 stick of ngung than incense each week. Good, he answered. With the manor having secured a cook, the remaining 3 applicants departed disappointed. Tan Van refused to give up. If the cook slot is filled, do you need a sous chef? I'm willing to assist for free. Just give me 1 stick of ngung than incense each week. In the game, if you research and invent dishes, you can reproduce them in reality. If 2 sticks had already given her a new grasp of culinary art, then with more, her level would surely climb another rung. So she pleaded earnestly, unwilling to let go of even the slimmest hope. Tan Van, 2-star, born to a cooking family? Van Sam mused. Yes, Tan Van said urgently, I may be young, but I've trained for many years. My fundamentals are solid. Ingredient selection, knife work, and fire control are all up to par. Then you come too. Van Sam decided on the beat. The joy dropped too suddenly and she blanked. She felt she hadn't even said much and the other side was already persuaded. I can see both of you have an indescribable passion for cuisine. You came to hone yourselves and chase the summit. Van Sam smiled. So I'll give you both a chance. With that she arranged lodging for the 2 and led them to the kitchen. Using the ingredients on hand, each of you make 3 dishes. No dietary restrictions, no special requests, just make them delicious, no problem. Chef Man agreed readily. I absolutely won't disappoint you, Tan Van said solemnly. I'm really looking forward to it, said Van Sam. Chef Man and Tan Van stayed in the kitchen to prepare lunch, while Van Sam headed to the bamboo house to give Lukeman a thorough check, and Luke followed openly to guard her. Didn't you say only 1 cook was being hired? A coincidence, said Van Sam as they walked. Both have good aptitude. Hard to choose, so I took them both, whether Chef Man or Tan Van. In the previous life they had been manor workers, this life they were simply reconnecting. That Chef Man, do you know him? She asked idly. No, Luke shook her head. Really? Van Sam couldn't tell whether it was her own strength attracting NPC talent or Luke Min's quiet help. At times she felt she owed much to Luke Min for gaining NPC support. At times she felt it was just recompense for the medical fees she paid, and sometimes she thought if the Alliance Lord used a command to mobilize NPCs and staged a coup, the whole base would be hers, and what would NPCs matter then? Only out of regard for good relations did she not make a move. In a sense she was extremely dangerous, and had plenty of chances to act, so NPC's caution toward her was justified. Leaving her feelings mixed, the more Luke thought the stranger it felt. Should I recognize him? Just asking casually, whether you know him or not doesn't matter, Van Sam replied, one more time, and she couldn't be bothered to fuss. If Luke Min wanted to send people, she would accept them. After all, her exploits were based on skill. Chatting along, the bamboo house came into view, having just soaked in a medicinal bath. Luke Min's complexion was much improved, a trace of lazy ease on his face. On seeing Van Sam, his expression stiffened and, for some reason, his ears warmed. Van Sam looked him over carefully and said in surprise, his condition is even better than I expected, likely thanks to Hunia. Luke guessed that calming spirit decoction he prescribed earlier in the daily doses have eased the symptoms. Recalling the past, Van Sam sighed and shook her head. Fools have their blessings. Hunia thought helplessly, I'm still here. How do you feel? Van Sam asked Luke Min. Sleepy, he said coolly. Van Sam paused, then said, sleepiness is good. We won't disturb you, get some rest. Luke Min answered blandly, the rims of his ears slightly pink from the fresh bath. Van Sam, Hunia, and Luke left the room one after another. Why do I feel like he doesn't want to see me? Van Sam wondered. Luke looked up at the sky. Maybe he's been rattled, huh? Van Sam blinked, and Hunia braced himself to explain. My lord knows he was quite rude to the divine physician during his attacks, so he feels guilty. Shy, she chuckled. 2 days later, Han Jia Khan gathered the core members of the association for a meeting. Earlier I had you all try Ngungnan incense. What insights after using it? Kang Trak Duong spoke first. The effect is freaking great. Focus razor sharp. Time flies. After farm work my back doesn't ache and my legs don't hurt, and I can still go another hour. Another said, when I light a stick while reading medical texts, my memory clearly improves and my comprehension across the board rises. And Feng Yingu added, in the training ground, lighting it during sparring doubles the learning speed. The NPC I coached brushed against the incense and had a flash of insight. By the next day he'd advanced from basic to intermediate and his fee schedule jumped. Afterward he even added my contact to say, as thanks, he'd spar with me at the original rate and show up whenever I set a time. The others gawped, it sounded too overblown. Feng Yingu continued, I infer Ngungnan incense is essentially a double skill experience charm, and it works on NPCs as well. He looked around and enunciated, which means gifting NPCs Ngungnan incense will have wondrous effects. Han Jia Khan drew a sharp breath and suddenly grasped the incense's true value. At lunchtime, Chef Man prepared duck stewed with potatoes, braised rabbit, and sweet pumpkin buns. Tan Van made caramelized braised duck, beef and fermented sauce, and osmanthus cakes. Chef Man, with decades in the craft, truly delivered. The duck and potato stew was meltingly tender and savory, the braised rabbit delicate and fresh, the pumpkin buns soft with a light sweetness. Tan Van's braised duck was likewise tender, with a faint briny savor. The sauced beef was a weave of supple lean and tendon with deep umami, and the osmanthus cakes were fragrant, sweet, and exquisitely soft. Big Black circled the sauced beef and couldn't stop eating. The 5 white stoats adored duck and clustered about both the duck and potato stew and the braised duck, feasting to their heart's content. The newly arrived 4-star white tiger cub wasn't picky, it ate everything, from pumpkin buns to braised rabbit to osmanthus cakes, drifting to whatever dish had less competition. Judging by the way they ate, the 3 dishes by Tan Van won more favor. Looks like you put a lot into ingredient selection, Chef Man praised. Tan Van said evenly, my craft isn't at your level, I just relied on clever choices. The braised duck was prepared for the stoats, the sauced beef for the wolf dog, and the osmanthus cakes for the white tiger. Each dish had its target. Chef Man waved it off, you need skill to be clever. Take this braised duck, for example, and, interest piqued, he critiqued from ingredient choice to knife work, from seasoning to fire, praising and faulting in turn every point on the mark. Under his pointers, Tan Van felt as if waking from a dream, whipped out pen and paper to scribble notes, eyes sparkling. Please continue. The master's meticulous guidance worked nearly as well as Ngungnan incense. Seeing her eagerness to learn, Chef Man grew even more animated, speaking fluidly and at length. Seems they're getting along wonderfully. Van Sam smiled. What about my lord, what will he eat for lunch? Hunia asked as he watched her. Van Sam rolled up her sleeves. I'll cook a medicinal meal for him.